Yo! What the fuck is going on, dude? How y'all feeling? How are you all living, man? Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to the fucking stream, man. How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? Wow, first chatter, cheese dripping. What's up, player? How you living, fool? How you living, fool? How you living? How you living? How you living? Look, it's my first day back from an illness, so bear with me. I'm still sick, but I just pulled out flu-type performances on the daily is really what I do. If we're just keeping it objectively honest, fully honest, if yesterday is what I'm able to do, sick, tired, throat hurts, mucus, heavy chest, congested, whatever it is, if that's what I'm able to do on that type of day, imagine what I could do on a day where I'm not. Imagine if this is what I could do, if this is what I could do on a day of a fake ceasefire. Imagine what I could do on the day of a real ceasefire. Have you ever really sat down and thought about that before? If this is what I can do during fuckery, imagine what I can do when a world is playing out just as I ever imagined. Imagine that. Can you not be late? Look, I don't choose when I start stream. Okay, I start stream when I just like I don't choose when I sell Zcash, when I enter WTI. I just listen to what the market tells me to do. It's very simple. It's very simple. I don't choose what to trade. The chart speaks to me. I close my eyes and I click a position. Do you think I want to be long oil right now? Seriously. Do you think that I want to be long oil right now? Do you think that makes me happy? No, it makes me fucking miserable. If anything, I was having such a good couple days since Saturday that it was almost too good and I was waiting for an entry. They speak to me. This is really, I really believe this, by the way. I really believe great traders. You know, GE speaks to this. I don't want to say too much about, this this fellow, or play his clips, but he does speak of this, is that the ball tingle, bro. It's the ball tingle. Oftentimes you get the ball tingle. You can't predict the ball tingle. You can't ask for the ball tingle. You can't encourage the ball tingle. The ball tingles when the balls fucking tingle, and what you do with it is who you are as a trader. So we'll talk about it. We gotta look. There's a lot going on. I'm just going to be completely honest. I'm just going to start by saying Rory Johnson canceled the stream. He's sick. He's going to come on tomorrow. Yes, I know he's sick, but he's still tweeting. Whatever. I would be tweeting if I was sick. It is what it is, okay? The guy's fucking sick. He tells me he's sick. He's sick. He's going to be here tomorrow, and maybe it's for the fucking better because we have a lot to talk about today. Looks like a penis on your shirt. I was going to make a joke about how... Actually, I'm not going to make a joke. So... Rory Johnson, the greatest oil trader in the world, will be, I don't know about greatest oil trader, but one of the better oil thinkers in the world, will be on stream tomorrow. He had to cancel today. He's sick. Now, that is okay because we have a fucking myriad of, yeah, you like to have been whipping that out, myriad of topics to cover today, okay? First and foremost, I don't want to say I, called this per se, because I don't know if I called it, but definitely yesterday when Trump announced a ceasefire, I was kind of like, does Iran know? And it was sort of funny because the market was going up and we didn't really care. But the market's no longer going up, and apparently Iran did not know, and there is no ceasefire. So yeah, I was reasonably skeptical. Like I don't know if I was euphoric. I was euphoric because I was long already. I was long Zcash. I was excited about my longs, and I had to fucking close them today. And I'm pissed. I'm pissed I closed it. Yes, was it a sick trade? It was. Did I hit plus 50%? Yes, I did. Did I front run a crazy move? Yes, I did. But I'm pissed because it should have been like a career trade, and it just can't be because I don't know. We have spent the last 2 months learning how to navigate Trump headlines, and now it's like, okay, figure out how to navigate JD Vance headlines if that wasn't enough. So we have all types of stuff to talk about. We have 10 points, and we have a fake ceasefire, and we have war updates, and we have market commentary, and we have the Strait of Hormuz accepting Bitcoin as payment. And then where's the Trevor? I actually don't know. It's a friend's. Yeah, it's a friend's. I don't know where it came from. We have the Strait of Hormuz. Iran is only accepting Bitcoin for payment, which is crazy. And then if that wasn't enough, Anthropic is back in the daily discussion, and they dropped this Mythos thing, and apparently it's going to destroy DeFi. Has a 0-day exploit on every single popular software program in the entire world on the internet. It's going to break the world. And then at the same time, Meta came out and announced that they are not completely irrelevant in AI. They announced a new model with Alexander Wang. Meta pumped 8% today after the initial pump. And so, yeah, there's just like, am I going to use the word myriad again? Myriad. There's a lot of things happening today. It's fucking nuts. So our guest canceled. That's fine. He didn't cancel. He rescheduled. Plethora. I already used that one. I need to know what's the synonym to plethora. Like a hydro. Like a what do you call it? Like you cut his head off and 3 more spawn. A hydra. There's a hydra of topics, cornucopia of concepts for me to conceptualize about on stream today. So without further ado. And yeah, I'm in a fucking bad mood. Okay, I'm in a bad mood because I'm in this garbage ass coin that I don't want to be in. And it's like, I genuinely am not trolling when I tell you I think it's out of my power. I don't want to be in this thing. I don't want to be trading this, but here I am. This is what we're doing. And that's what we're at. So, all right, roll call, baby. Who's here? D-List, what's good? DMX, Lattice, what's good? Cole, what's good? Timer, what's good? Seth, what's good? Crypto DJ Life 69, Rockefeller, Vibba, Teo, Cats. Oh, stop. Jackson Ray, I can't even see. Bloom, Citrini Analyst 3, what's good? 35, Smack, what's good? Hidden Character, Cosmic, Booty Watcher, Eldorado, K-Cov, Brave, what's good? Cad, Sherbert, Seth, yo, stop. William, Polka, Lumix, Sax, Chunky Nuts, David Cardenas, what's good? Caleb, what's good? Garland, what's good? Yonan, what's good? Dubby, what's good? Sia, what's good? J-Led, what's good? Sir Wheatens. God damn, man. Y'all type too fucking fast. Pipe Bomb 33. I love when he's here. I love when Pipe Bomb, Booty Watcher, and Crypto DJ Life 69 go bang, bang, bang like a Hydra. I go chop them off. Gold is what's good. Where's Goldman Tracks? All right. When'd you start wearing collars? I'm a daily collar kind of guy. I have shit like this on every day is really what I do. But all right, welcome to the stream. If you're watching on YouTube or Twitter, you like to chat. Twitch.tv/threadguy. And we have a lot to talk about today, okay? But you need to work on the eye bags. All right, can we start there? Let's actually start there real quick before we get to the market close soon. I know there's like ceasefire, but what do I do with the eye bag? Like, how bad are they out of 10? Like, if a 10 is like, dude, you look like a raccoon versus like a 1, what is up with my eyes? How bad is it? Seriously, how bad is it? Skincare routine is decent, bro. I feel like my shit has been getting clean. I'm breaking out a little bit right now because I'm stressed. Pretty bad, brother. Mine are bad, but this is an extra level. Spy Put says I'll never short Spy again. Bro, I tried to help you. You can't. I feel like you got punched by Mike Tyson. Is it really that bad? Dude, I woke up yesterday and I had eye bags on. We had to go to an IRL meeting. And I had eye bags under my eye bags. Like I had a double. Can you see the outline of the double? I had double eye bags. And I'm like, bro, what am I supposed to even do with this? Like, bro, like part of my Riz, I'm going to just be completely honest. Part of the reason we've been so successful is my ability to go to in-person meetings with other men, professional men, and Riz. it's just like an edge of mine. I think that I'm very good at it. And call it pretty privilege, I think. And so we go to meeting with other men and Riz. And if I go into this and I'm trying to Riz on a meeting and my eye bags have eye bags, it sets me up for being disappointed. It really does. It really does set me up for disappointment. It's like there's not that much you can do. What's good, Cam? First chatter. It's like it just is harder, you know? It's harder. It's like I might as well have done it on Zoom. Yeah, it makes it harder. And so look, I think that I think I did a good job yesterday, but it is definitely easier when the face is full to cover. All right, I have one topic I want to get off really quick before we get into the ceasefire stuff, so bear with me. First of all, guys, no more podcasts. We're done. We're done. Every cabinet member in the government has a podcast. And what does that even mean? I missed the old TG. Who's the old TG? Like 4% less miserable and angry TG? Like which one? What's good, G-Man? The one who's on $1 million on GOAT? You want me to lose money again? We're done with podcasts, bro. It's just we've got to be. Okay? We got to be. I was so bored this weekend. I was watching a Kylie Jenner Kid Cudi podcast, and I just thought to myself, like, what am I doing, bro? Like, actually, why am I watching this? Like, what is this? Why am I like it's like complete, just like an utter slot. Why am I watching Kid Cudi and Kylie Jenner on a pod? And by the way, how did Kid Cudi get Kylie Jenner on a pod? That's like a sick guest. How did he get her on the pod? We got to be done. And so in the last, I don't know, 2 weeks, I've seen, Kylie and Kid Cudi, and it was pretty good. Honestly, it was pretty good. No, I know they're friends, but I'm just like, why am I watching this? Like, what is this? Like, I know they're friends, okay? But I'm just like, why do I need, like, okay, why am I watching an RFK or RFK? Why am I watching an RFK podcast? Like, ever? Rogan, fine. But why am I watching RFK, like, interview other people? Like, about what? It's just complete, like I've always wondered, like, who is the marginal viewer? Now, who's the marginal viewer of a threadguy stream? It's, like, very obvious to me. It's like, okay, you come to the stream, you're in the community, your friends are in the chat, you're young, you're hustling, you're trying to fucking get rich, and you get smarter every day. Why you come to the stream is very obvious to me. But why you're watching the RFK pod in 2026 is like, I don't know. I think there's a complete Shmiko top on pods. Spy puts, I have no friends in the chat. It's because you're a fucking bear, dude. It's like you come here. It's like I have no friends in the chat, bro. It's because you're a bear. Your name is Spy Puts. Like, yeah, you have no friends in the chat. You're a bear, bro. It's like bears live a miserable. Bears lose in the end. It's like I only say this not as a joke. I say this so wholeheartedly because it's one of my favorite books of all time. Jesse Livermore kills himself in the end. He kills himself in the end. $100 million. It's like billions in 1930 or whatever. He kills him. Yeah, bears. It's just like it's not a happy life, man. It's not. It's not a happy life. So if you change that shit to spy calls, I guarantee you would show up tomorrow. You'd be the most popular kid in school. If you show up tomorrow and you were spy calls, hidden character, Viblet, all the boys, fucking Lattice, Small Pepe, all the homies would be like, spy calls, what's good? They'd be gassing you up. They would be fucking Tom Brady XPT would be in here firing you up. It's like you would be the most popular guy in our community if you show up tomorrow with spy calls. But no, you're spy puts. You're spy puts. And it's like, for what? You know, for what? Jackson Ray would be hyping you up. Like, you begin. There's show. By the way, I'm just gonna say one more thing before we get into the real stream. There is a lot of VCs watch this stream. A lot of top traders watch this stream. A lot of founders watch this stream, and a lot of crypto Twitter 10s watch this stream. Okay, and they always say no, don't message the e-girls. I think that's bullshit. And so if you came here by calls, you're probably getting some slide in DMs as well. Seriously, you probably are. You probably are. Spy calls, spy puts is not getting DMs. So this is what it is. Missed the music intro. I could restart the stream if you want, but we have some important stuff to talk about. So all right, number one is top on podcasts. Live streams are sick. We're done with the pods. Okay. Number 2 is I didn't think this clip was that bad. I'm just gonna I'm gonna say it. It's CNBC Business. You watch CNBC Business so you could find out about the market. Okay. I do not think this clip is that bad. Honestly, I don't think this clip is that bad. I really don't. I don't think it's that bad. I think everyone freaking out is completely overreacting.
This deadline that President Trump has set, 8 p.m., has threatened to destroy a civilization. How does an investor process that? Is it a bigger upside risk or downside risk?
Yeah. Like, I don't think it's that bad of a question. And so you could say, oh, what a retard. Fuck this idiot. This woman fucking sucks. She's so retarded and stupid and I hate her. Fuck her. How could she, this stupid idiot, how could this stupid idiot ask if a nuke would make the market go up? But I'm just going to be completely honest, bro, Iran just came out and announced that there is absolutely no ceasefire. Nothing's going through the Strait of Hormuz. And we are very much at war. We have accepted none of the terms, and the market didn't move. And so it wasn't that bad of a question. She framed okay, you know what she meant. Also, to be fair, is if you want to get in the details and get nuanced about this, it could be upside risk for shorts. It's she didn't really specify what speculative vehicle she was referring to when she asked the question about, is this good or bad for assets? She didn't articulate, is it puts, is it shorts, is it calls, covered calls? She didn't really articulate it. And so my entire feed today was clowning this woman. I didn't think it was that bad. Second thing I want to call out is, watch this real quick. This is kind of cool. Japanese news today is a good one.
Trump always chickens out.
Love this one. Shout out to Japan. I want to cover this because this is going to be a very recurring theme. Okay, this is going to be one of the hottest field and verticals in the world. Okay, and I want to make something. Okay, it didn't come. Yeah, it didn't come. I want to call something out and be very blunt about this before we move on. Okay, because this is just an important topic. Okay, you are going to see more and more and more and more and more people working on AI porn. Okay? This company, the OpenAI of the spicy content industry. Okay? You're going to see more and more and more people working on AI porn. Okay? Hidden character. Really, dude? You're in the fucking chat. Really? Hidden character? This what are we doing? Dog, you're in the chat. What are we doing? Jesus, man. Dude, it's an AI porn company. Dude. Hidden character, man. It's Guy from Athena is crazy. It's what are we doing here? Guy from Athena? Really? James Hunsaker of Monad? Guys. All right. Here's what I want to say really quick. I want to make something very clear, and then we're going to get into the market, okay? I want to make something very clear. Is that this is going to be one of the hottest verticals in the world soon, okay? Because it's going to be very profitable. Porn industry is lucrative. There's a lot of money to be made. Da, 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 da. If you meet somebody, if you have a friend, if you know somebody, if you meet anybody that is working in or funding the AI porn industry, run for the fucking hills. That is a bad person. If you meet somebody that takes a job, I don't care how lucrative it is, at an AI porn startup, that is not your friend. That is a bad person. That person is going to ruin your life. That person is going to crack your aura. It's going to seep through. It's going to come out at the wrong time. You're going to be on a date, and that weird little aura loss you took when you invested in that AI porn startup is going to come out in the form of a word you shouldn't have said, or a sentence you should have articulated. This is going to be the downfall of many people. Many men are going to die a slow, painful, brutal death subject to the AI porn industry. You must avoid it. If you meet somebody that is participating in the AI porn industry, that's not your friend. It's not your friend. It's disgusting. It's foul, and I hate it. So I wanted to just call that out really quick. Is like, if you meet anyone in the AI porn industry, run. Okay, last thing on culture, and then we're going to start the stream talking about the ceasefire, is the enhanced games. The enhanced games are out very soon, and I'm fucking hype.
In 2009, a human being ran faster than humans are supposed to run. Not faster than his rivals, faster than the limits of the sport itself. 9.58 seconds. On May 24th, enhanced athletes hope to beat that record. Some are already within hundredths of a second of equalizing it. Who is in the running to beat the fastest man in the world? Fred Curley, one of the top all-time.
We're not gonna watch the whole video, but the Peter Thiel steroid games happen very soon, and it's going to be probably the saving grace for sports. In my opinion, sports are topped. As much as I love sports, I'm a huge believer in sports. I think sports have basically squeezed out every person they could have ever gotten into sports is into sports. Sports betting prolonged that run for a couple weeks, but the only way to take sports from a 9 to a 10 is to pull the Band-Aid off. Let the baseball players juice. Let the NBA players wear spring insoles. Let the football players take steroids. Let them juice. Seriously. Let them juice. Let them juice. Let them juice. Let them juice. Traders juice. Software engineers juice. I mean, they like give juice to fucking, middle schoolers, but they don't do it in the NBA. And so I'm fucking excited to watch it. It's going to be electric. It's going to be exciting. And shout out to Peter Thiel. Now, without further ado, I don't even really know where to start this segment. We have to talk about the market. I mean, this was such a ridiculous fucking day. This is such a ridiculous day that I don't even exactly know where to start. I mean, look. Today, in my opinion, today is the definition of what we call a headline slop day. Okay, I did say shout out Peter Thiel on a live stream. That's gonna get clipped. Shout out Peter Thiel for the man, that's gonna be a rough clip. There's gonna be a video one day of me, like, not that far down the line, probably when we have a couple thousand concurrent, about how I'm an industry plan. Thiel funded, they're gonna roll that probably. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna roll that. When I run for president, they're gonna roll. Yeah, that's definitely. Say hi if you want to get in the clip, I guess. That is definitely gonna get rolled. Shout out him for the steroid games. I stand on that. I mean it. And shout out him for clavicular if he's involved. But let's get serious, because I really want to talk about markets today. Today is the definition of what you would call a headline slop day. I almost think they do this on purpose. They throw so much garbage slop at you at the same time that it's unclear how you are even supposed to react to it. Like, what exactly are you supposed to do in response to all of these headlines? Very unclear. They did it today. And so I'm going to give you this is how we're going to do the stream. I'm going to give you a rough timeline from memory of where we are. We're going to do market close, and then we're going to go back into the timeline piece by piece by piece by piece by piece by piece by piece. We're going to talk about where we're at, and then I'm going to complain about oil. Brutally, annoyingly, uncomfortably complain about oil and Zcash and Bitcoin and yeah, those three. Okay. So yesterday we're on stream. We had Peter Schiff on, and right when the stream ends, we get the best news we've gotten for, people who are long, bullish in the market during this whole war. And it was a ceasefire. Ceasefire has been reached. The 10-point agreement has been agreed upon between Iran and the United States of America. Now, the problem with this agreement is that the 10 points provided by Iran were very aggressive. And we're reading these and we're like, there's no way. Like, yeah, maybe they'll agree to open up the strait, but are they going to give up all their uranium? Are they going to promise to never, ever pursue a nuclear weapon? Like, it didn't really seem real, but the market said it was real. Bitcoin 73. Crypto was ripping, market was closed, futures ripping, everything was ripping, post market, whatever, on 24/7 perps and hyperliquid is what I meant to say, ripping on stocks, everything's ripping. And so market opens today, and I think people are like pretty skeptical, but SPY gaps up 2.75%, maybe, just like a fucking, staircase down, elevator up type of day. Everything rips up. And then Iran basically comes out and is like, so no. Then Israel starts bombing and attacking Lebanon. And Iran comes out and was like, what the fuck is Israel? Like, what are they doing? I thought we had a deal. This is like going against our deal. And then Iran comes out and is basically like, we did not agree to a ceasefire. The rules, they did not agree to the rules. We do not have a ceasefire. And then announcements come out that they're like halting ships through the Strait of Hormuz. Ships aren't getting through. They're making ships turn around. That's not happening. Then JD Vance goes on. My mom was in Beirut today renewing her passport. Damn, bless her heart. She came out safe. Jeez. Then JD Vance, who like we haven't heard from at all, comes out and does media. And he's like, no ceasefire ever goes without a little choppiness. And we want to stop the bombing, but it will take time. And then just headline slap. And so basically, there's no ceasefire. It basically feels like Trump just came out and declared a ceasefire when there was no agreement whatsoever. And we are still at war. The Strait of Hormuz is not open. And we're all still attacking. Everyone's still attacking. So it's not done. But the craziest thing about this whole thing to me is that the craziest part about this whole thing is that these announcements came out 2 hours ago, maybe. I mean, or maybe even earlier. It came out that there was no ceasefire. And then the bombing thing, then the no ceasefire, whatever. We had like 3 hours of open market while these announcements were out. And nothing. SPY wouldn't go down. Bitcoin wouldn't go down. Bitcoin always goes down. Nothing will go down. Nothing will move. And so there's just this like paradox situation where like Trump declares ceasefire, we fucking rip. Iran's screaming, there's no ceasefire, and the market is not moving. So it's a pretty bizarre day in the markets. Weird one, very weird one for positioning and how you think about what's next. Weird one for oil, weird one for all of this. And I'm going to do my best to get in the nitty gritty, break it all down, cover it, get to where we can get to, and see what happens next. So, all right, if you are watching on Twitter, YouTube, and you would like to chat, Twitch.tv is where everybody is. That's where we chat. Before we go over market close, how are you positioned? If you open longs, did you close them? Did you open shorts? Did you open new longs? What is your most highest conviction trade right now? And are you up or down? Everyone in the chat, what do you got? If you're in cash, let me know. Simon Dixon's Twitter. Cash. Nice. Congrats. Must be fucking nice, huh? Meme coin's down bad. I mean, holding Zach long. Sandus short. First time chatter as well. Welcome, brother. Cash. Long Zcash from 238. That's like the Pico, I think. Yeah, that's the top tick. I think it'll be fine, but it might take a while. Cash is king. Up on Griffin long. CVX long. Zach long but close. I closed. Let me actually write this down so I can cover why I close. Long crude. First chatter. Welcome, brother. Why I close. Oh, 238. Damn, nice. Why I close Zach and then WTI. I'll write those down. Up on air, oil. Everyone's up on crude scalps. Man, there's a lot of you trading oil. Why are you trading oil? Last thing, if you're trading oil, why? I know I'm doing it, but why are you? Why are you trading oil? It's like, it's not fun. Are you having fun? If you're trading oil, are you having fun? Yes or no? Pokemon Champions is shit. Did it drop today? No. Oil is not easy money. No, it's miserable. Did Champions drop today? Full port mostly. Short Zcash 280 got wiped out within a few hours. Yeah. Because Rasmus went long oil. Did he? Stop. I don't want to see that on my feed. I really don't. 100% of my cash at STRC. Oh, God. It makes you want to close. I'm not kidding. Why am I... Oh, I meant to talk about this, actually. Let me add this real quick. Completely forgot about this. DNAP, we forgot about the Togi thing. Wait, let me see this Raspberry thing and we'll do market close. Where does he tweet it? I don't see it. Yeah, straight close, moral obligation. I'm in the same boat, brother. I don't want to be in this trade, but I have no choice. Let's do this. This is it, right? Oh, OTT. All right, whatever. Let's lock in. Let me focus. All right. Here's where you are. Market close. Let's go over it. One more time. If you're on Twitter, YouTube, you want to chat, twitch.tv/threadguy. If you have any questions, want to talk to me, whatever, want to talk some shit, that's where you find me. Let us start with majors. SPY, somehow, some way, into closed, up 2.5%. I mean, just insane. This, I think, is where the first comms around there's no ceasefire came out. And we just handled green into close. It is genuinely mesmerizing. SPY puts. What do you make of this? Q's up 3. Crazy. And the Dow up 3. Crazy candle on the Dow. It looks nuts. For some reason, yeah, that looks nuts. Nasdaq up half. IGV down 1%. Software is just so fucking fried. Just very fried. Crypto, Hyperliquid 38, silver 74. Russell looks crazy. Yeah, Russell does look crazy, actually. I was like a daily on this. Wow. Russell looks good. People are fucking degenerate, man. VIX is down 18%, which is nuts. Let me go smaller time frame here. Hype 38, silver 74. Sol is just so fried. 83, dollar down 0.5%. Zcash 324 has held on pretty decent, but I closed like 328 maybe. 329, had no choice. Monero, what happened here exactly? Like, what is this? What exactly happened here? Monero looks nuts. ETH 22, gold 47.23. Looks decent. North Korea sold. Bitcoin 71.4. I mean, look at this chart. What, like, this is one of the most ridiculous charts I've seen, I think. Look at this fucking chart, huh? What is this? The fuck is this Bitcoin chart? Yields going back up on 10-year. Tau 332. And then stretch is over 100, which means we have to look. And they bought 2,000 Bitcoin today, which is times 71, missed a 0. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, $142 million. Insane. In fucking sane. Everything red for energy. Brent down 7, crude down 14.5. 14.5. Exxon down 5. Chevron down 5. Defense. Palantir down 6%. Ugly chart on Palantir. Can't lie. It was looking decent yesterday, but just a horrific day. I mean, look at this. Pretty ugly chart on Palantir here. Can't lie. Get a little head and shoulder action here too, I think. Pretty ugly. Burry might end up being right. That's why we've been out of this thing for weeks. Lockheed flat. Raytheon up a couple. Chemical stuff. Crushed. Individual names. SanDisk up 10. One of the best looking charts in I don't know. There is. Nuts. Micron up 8%. Meta had a big release today. Looks crazy. Up 7. Amazon up 3. Intel up 12. Look at this chart. Look at this fucking chart. Crazy one on Intel. Google up 3.5. Continues to look like one of the better charts. AMD up 5. Nvidia up 2. Looks terrible. Microsoft. Tesla. Who was here fighting me about Tesla the other day? Who was it? Who was it? Who was it? I'm telling you, man. Dev is launching a second token. Does not look good. Everything green today. Tesla down 1%. Everything green today. Tesla down 1. Also, chart is printing a reverse dick and balls. Not what you want to see. Really not what you want to see is the reverse DMB on Tesla here. Go in the wrong direction. Broke shaft support, and this thing is just in a weird spot. So not what you want to see on Tesla. Dev's launching a second token. Apple up 2, Netflix up 1. This has really performed well. Netflix, it really has. And then a couple individual names that we care about before I do altcoins is Hims, so fried. I mean, if your favorite, I'll just say this, if your favorite stock, favorite asset, favorite risk on play did not even attempt green today, cut that bitch. Cut. It's like if you didn't make a move of green today, it's fried. It's objectively fried. So Hims, this looks. This one wants to gap fill. Looks terrible. Visa up 2. Who cares? Figma down 5. Maybe one of the worst charts of all time. I would argue. I ran up 3. Nike's pretty bad chart too. Look at this thing. Lowest price on Nike since 2014. Who owns Nike? Anyone? Roblox down 3. Block, Jack Dorsey up. Hood up 3. Nike also gets affected by this war. Energy going up, right? Manufacturing's more expensive. Weird spot. What else do we care about? Circle looks pretty shit. MicroStrategy up 4. Lululemon up 3. I'm going to say, like, I was kind of interested in the Lululemon play a while ago. And, like, whenever I see a baddie, she doesn't wear Lulu. Period. She's not wearing Lulu. Like, I don't know. I haven't seen a hot girl wearing Lululemon, like, in a while. Except socks. But, like, that can't be the best margin. It can't be. Aloe. They're all into aloe. Snap, here's Snap. 473, and that's about all we care about. Last but not least is, I'm noticing their stocks. Crypto. Barcoin's up like 3. Monad is nuts. Is anyone long this right now? Just in, Israel considering awarding President Trump an Israel Peace Prize during his next visit. Well, we're at war. Monad is one of the best looking charts in crypto right now. Crazy one. I love these like J curve charts. It looks kind of like Circle did, I think, where they like, it's down only and then they find a bottom and then they just fucking, this is like more aggressive, but you hit this like rounded like cup here and just go. I think Robinhood looked like that at one point too. No. Here. Back in the day, Hood did too. This is a way longer one. But down only, then you do this like rounded rip. Also, Rivian, I think, is another one that had this. Like this was kind of a fun one. It hasn't really played, but like it has this just like rounded rip. So that's Monad, looks great. Zcash looks incredible. It just is getting cucked by the market. But this is also doing it, right? Like this rounded rip, break this, and then we want to fucking see that thing go. Outside of that, crypto looks terrible. Everything else is like not great. VV's decent. Pomp like looked pretty good, just completely shafted. The other one I said looked good is lighter, completely shafted. Yeah, crypto does not look great. And so that is where the market leaves us. Now, with that, look XPL, fine. It's just cursed, bro. It looks so longable. Like if this thing was a girl, I'm asking her out on a date. If XPL was like a girl at my gym, I would ask her out. But she'd ruin my life. You know? It's one of those like, wow, I want to do it so. The XPL chart looks like a swiping up on my ex's story is what it looks like right now while I have a girlfriend. That's what this chart looks like, swiping up on my ex's story while I have a girlfriend. It's like I should not do it. It would feel so good, but I should not do it. I should not. But a fire emoji just feels so casual and free, and it feels like routine. Feels like I've been here before. Feels like, yeah, it's like a girl with a neck tat, like a real deal neck tat, like a little like neck tat, you know? It feels so like just ready to do it, but it's just like, it's going to ruin your life. She's going to ruin you. She's going to ruin you. She's going to destroy you. She's going to just eat you for fucking lunch in the wrong, in the wrong way, you know? But man, just one swipe up, would it really kill anyone? Would my girl really find out? You know, like how would she find out? You know your ex is good for it. You know she's not going to tell anyone, but like you shouldn't. You know God's watching. So, all right. You know God's watching. That's the problem. God's watching. And so it's like your ex wouldn't find out. Your girl wouldn't find out. Your mom wouldn't find out. Her mom wouldn't find out. But like God's watching and he knows and he sees and he knows. God knows if you long XPL. He knows. I'm telling you, he knows. All right. Now, I'm putting off, this is getting oddly specific. I'm putting off Ceasefire because it's overwhelming. Are we ready for it? Should we just get into it right now? Should we just go? We ready? Are we ready to do this? I need y'all to go in there with me. I do. I can't do it alone. I need y'all to go in there with me. Are y'all ready? Let's do it. I guess I could just start with. All right, let's recap yesterday first, real quick. Let's recap yesterday. And so I think even from the get-go yesterday, also WTI candling a little bit. I'm in this trade. It's gonna drive me nuts. I'll talk about Zcash and oil after we rehash everything that's happened. I think even yesterday when this deal was agreed upon, it was fucking sus from the beginning. Okay, because there was really no comms that had felt like we were getting anywhere near a deal. Then kind of all of a sudden out of nowhere, it's like, yeah, there's a deal, and it was like, wait, what? What's going on? It doesn't. What? How did this happen so fast? And like, why are we agreeing on this? Because it didn't feel like we were anywhere near any type of agreement whatsoever, right? So wait, I just closed an important tab. So this is first, which came out yesterday, which is like, okay, Iranian 10-point from April 6th are substantially different from 10 points they say Trump has accepted and Trump says he'll negotiate on. Highlighted. Military block, bolded. Economic block, italic. Sanctions, block. They gave up on the toll booth and demanded reparations instead. And so it felt reasonable that the U.S. would stop attacking in exchange for Iran to open the strait. The toll thing did not sound super reasonable for the U.S. to accept. Israel stopping is its own can of worms. And then giving up their uranium and nuclear build out did not seem like something they would be willing to accept. But Trump was sort of like, no. We have a deal. 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 And it's like, okay, we'll see. So this came out sus. This was the official statement where Trump is basically saying we've agreed to the 10-point proposal. And it's like, all right, have we? Market fucking rips. Then right away, Trump comes out doing some fuckery. And he's like, a country supplying military weapons to Iran will immediately be tariffed on any and all goods sold to the United States of America, 50% effective immediately. There will be no exclusions or exemptions. Like, bro, it'd been like 15 minutes and he's talking about a tariff on Iran already. It's like, bro, we just like got out of this. What are we doing? I mean, this was like instantaneous. It's like, we just got done here. What are we doing? We're already talking about tariffs on Iran. It's like, I thought we were done with this, right? He loves a tariff, man. It's like, I don't get it. Art of the deal, I guess. What do I know? And so, yeah, so there was this. Was another one that was a little bit suspect, which like the United States will work closely with Iran, which we have determined has gone through what will be a very productive regime change. There will be no enrichment of uranium, and the United States will, working with Iran, dig up and remove all of the deeply buried B-2 bombers' nuclear dust. It's like, okay, you want this or they want this? It is now and has been under very exacting satellite surveillance. Nothing has been touched from the date of attack. We are, and we will be, talking tariff and sanctions relief with Iran. Many of the 50 points have already been agreed to. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And so it's very clear, like, we haven't reached a full agreement. Maybe we will, and maybe we can, but we haven't up until this point. And so this came out, followed by there'll be lots of positive action. Money will be made. Iran can start the reconstruction process. We'll be loading up on supplies of all kinds and just hanging around in order to make sure that everything goes well. Iran can start the reconstruction process. Iran can start the reconstruction process. They kept saying. And so, Citrini victory lap. Iran screaming there's going to be fees. And that is basically like where we left off yesterday. And I went to bed feeling optimistic, but I don't know. We'll see. But long. Optimistic, but long. Okay? And so you wake up today and you just get hit with fucking fuckery after fuckery after fuckery after fuckery after fuckery after fuckery after fuckery. So I'll do my best to piece it together in order. If you have missed it or don't spend your entire second of your life following it, which I do, and I still don't really know what's going on. Number one is this was at like 6 a.m. I wake up, see this. Strikes on an Iranian oil refinery in Lavon Island today. I believe this was from Israel. Iran is now retaliating with strikes on targets in Kuwait, Bahrain, and the UAE. Boom. It's like, okay, are we ceasefired or are we at war? So this comes out this morning, right? Market is gapping up. And this looks like this. Thanks, people. I mean, these are oil. We're bombing oil refineries today after a ceasefire, after the market is pissing green. We're bombing oil refineries. It's like, what are we talking about? How do we know these videos are real and from today? We do because there is no community note. This is the best of our ability. So that was number one. Number two is Saudi Arabia's east-west oil pipeline was hit by a drone attack. Comes out a couple hours later. Saudi Arabia's vital east-west oil pipeline carrying crude from the Gulf to the Red Sea has been attacked. The People said a pumping station, one of several along the 1,200-kilometer pipeline that has become an economic lifeline for the kingdom since the near closure of shipping through the Strait of Hormuz was hit about 1 p.m. local time on Wednesday. That's escalation. Then there's this massive, same time basically, which is Massive Israeli strikes hit several cities across Lebanon, including Beirut's southern suburbs in Sudan. Look at this. I mean, look at this shit. This is this morning after we're at ceasefire. Israel just like slamming Lebanon. Look at these. What's up, Spoon? I mean, look at this. Does this look like ceasefire to you? Look at this shit. And so these announcements are starting to trickle out during market open and right before. And I'm sitting here like, what are we doing? But it very much feels like, yeah, no ceasefire, right? Like, what's going on? This doesn't feel like it's over. But the market, I mean, the market doesn't care. The market doesn't give a fuck. The market is like so horny to go up, it doesn't care. And so that comes out. Then we get this, which is White House press secretary tells me Lebanon is not part of the ceasefire agreement with Iran. And so that comes out, followed by Speaker of the Iran Parliament. So this was the big one. This was like the killer. This was the nail in the coffin to me, which is also, look, as we're talking, this Speaker of Iran Parliament post on X. 3 of the 10 points in workable basis to negotiate have been violated. Blue Scopes, thanks for the gifted. In such situations, ceasefire or negotiations is unreasonable. And so this comes out at 2:18 EST. Look at SPY. This comes out at 2:18. This comes out at 2:18. 3 of the 10 terms for ceasefire have been violated. They're not possible, and there's no negotiations. And look at how we close. Doesn't give a fuck. Market does not care. And so let's do a scroll of TradFi news since that post, because there's been a lot. So this is the statement. Statement on the violation of 3 key clauses of the 10-point proposal. Agreed framework before the start of negotiations. The deep historical distrust we hold towards the United States stems from its repeated violations of all forms of commitments, a pattern that has regrettably been repeated once again, as expected. As the President of the United States has clearly stated in his Truth, is that a Truth Social? It's like so ridiculous. The Islamic Republic of Iran's 10-point proposal is a workable basis on which to negotiate and the main framework for these talks. However, 3 clauses of this proposal have been violated so far. It's been like 12 hours. What's good, Dean? It's been 12 hours. Brother, it's been 12 hours. And we violated 3. It's been 12 hours. It has nothing's even. It's been 12 hours. DNAP, do you have the full list? Send me the full list, DNAP, if you have it. 1. Non-compliance with the first clause of the 10-point proposal regarding the ceasefire in Lebanon. Okay, we just saw what they did to Lebanon. This is what they did to Lebanon. That was part of it. Secretary says Lebanon is not part of it. Iran says Lebanon is part of it. Non-compliance with the first clause of the 10-point proposal regarding the ceasefire in Lebanon. A commitment that the Prime Minister has also explicitly referred to and declared as an immediate ceasefire everywhere, including Lebanon and other regions, effective immediately. And so what I don't understand is, like, did they just break the ceasefire? Did they not agree to this? Like, how is this point number 1 is you can't bomb Lebanon, and Lebanon has got hit the hardest it's been hit the entire war? How does that work? Like, who is that? Who's responsible for that, and why, and how does that happen? So that's number one. Number two is the entry of an intruding drone into Iran airspace, which was delayed in the city of Lar in Fars province in clear violation of the clause prohibiting any further violation of Iranian airspace. I also believe that there's been more, since this has come out, there's been more drones shot down in Iran. And then three, denial of Iran's right to enrichment, which was included in the 6th clause of the framework. That is like the biggest clause. Now, the very, quote, workable basis on which to negotiate has been openly and clearly violated even before negotiations began. In such situation, the bilateral ceasefire or negotiations is unreasonable. And so not only did 3 clauses for this so-called ceasefire get violated in like hour 1, but the way this is being framed from Iran is that there was never actually an official ceasefire. It was negotiations for the first time of a ceasefire. Like, did anyone even agree to it? Or did Trump just come out and say there's a ceasefire without any official communications, and the market said, fuck it, that's good enough for me? Because that's what it feels like happens to me. That's what happened. Honestly, that's what it feels like happened. Feels like Trump woke up and said, all right, I've had enough. There's a ceasefire with Iran. And in reality, they just got a proposal. This is what I think happened, okay? I think for the first time, Iran was like, okay, we're willing to give you a proposal for a ceasefire. Trump got the proposal, and he said, fuck it, ceasefire, we're good. He didn't agree to any of the points. Iran didn't agree to the ceasefire. There was no agreement. There's no official comms. He just said ceasefire. The market fucking rips. And then they still do it anyways. And then Iran's like, what the fuck? Not only did we not have a ceasefire, but even if we did, you violated 30% of the agreement in hour 12. What the fuck? And then JD Vance is like, all right, my turn. Get me on the mic. And so they put Vance on the mic as if Trump wasn't enough. Vance says, no, fuck it. It's my Vance just like texted Trump a fucking, here he is. Texted Trump an Apple Music link with Lil Baby, my turn now, and said, fuck it. Let's get it. And so they put Vance on the mic. Yeah, Jeremy Lin waving off Kobe. I'm doing too much now. This is what Vance
doubled
did,
in the
bro.
corner.
The fuck out the way, Kobe.
Direct traffic.
Fuck out the way.
Travel right there on Boozer.
All right, I'm doing too much. But this is what happened. He said, get the fuck out the way. It's my turn. And so he waves off Trump, gets on the mic, and the first thing he says is, quote, Iranians thought ceasefire included Lebanon, and it just didn't. What? What do you mean they thought? What does that mean exactly? Like, at least when I do business, I don't know how y'all do business. When I do business, when there's a contract, both parties have the same contract. Like, if there's 10 points, I like know what's on the same 10 points, and like so do you. There should not be, I don't know whose fault it is. I'm not necessarily blaming Vance, but there should not be a disagreement on whether or not we can bomb Lebanon. Like, it shouldn't be like a, oh fuck, silly me, like I forgot kind of thing. It's like, no. And so that's the first thing he says. Second thing is that Israelis have offered to check themselves in Lebanon. It's like, okay, does that mean stop? What does that mean? What does that mean? Does that mean they've like checked themselves as in like, yo, check yourself, like stop? So I'll just give you my like Zoomer translation of that. That means to me, what happened is Lebanon was in the ceasefire. Israel said fuck it and bombed him anyways. Iran freaked out. Vance called Israel and said, guys, what the fuck are you doing? What the I mean, I would literally be a fly on the wall in that conflict. He picked up the phone, he called Israel, and he said, what the fuck was that? And Israel's like, what do you mean? And he's like, what the, like, are you, you're done. You're done. And so he comes back and says, all right, look. We thought it didn't include Lebanon, but Israel's down to like chill out. After that last like sucker jab. And then there have been talks between Israel and U.S. today, which means there wasn't before they did this. And then Israelis are trying to set us up for success in negotiations on Iran. And then he comes out and says, I wonder how good the prime minister of Iran is at understanding English, is the next thing that he says after that. I mean, look, these quotes are out of context always, right? So I wonder in what context he's it's not the PM of Iran. Sorry. He's like the speaker, right? What is his official role? Parliament speaker. Sorry. Parliament. You know what I meant. So he wonders how good he is at understanding English. Followed by, and this is my favorite one, which is no ceasefire ever goes without a little bit of choppiness. We want to stop the bombing, but it'll take time. Lebanon is a reasonable misunderstanding. I mean, this is like a pretty big misunderstanding to me. For either side, I don't know. That is like a big, I don't know. That's a big misunderstanding. And so, again, it seems to me that there was never a ceasefire, bro. This is like the obvious takeaway, in my opinion, is there was just not a ceasefire. Like, it wasn't this great grave fuck up of the U.S. and Iran. It was like, no, there was just no. There wasn't a ceasefire. This is what happened. This is what I honestly think happened. Trump got a letter in the mail that said, here are 10 points in which we can negotiate on. He said, yeah, whatever. Good enough. I don't even want to read it. Announced a ceasefire. Didn't even read the points. Broke 4 of them in the first 12 hours. 3 of them in the first 12 hours. Israel being one of them. They didn't even speak to Israel. Israel just went after Lebanon. Iran said, what the fuck are you guys doing? What the fuck? Iran comes out and says, not only is there no ceasefire, but we're done negotiating. And then JD Vance, Trump is like, I can't do it this time. You got to do it, Vance. I can't do it. I actually think that happened. Trump was like, bro, I can't do it this time. You got to go. This is you. And so Vance comes on the mic and he's like, yeah, it was just like a big misunderstanding. Ceasefires take time and we want to stop bombing, but we can't. And so I think there was never a ceasefire, but I do believe Trump desperately wants out right now. I think he does. I think the commentary here feels like Trump desperately wants out, but there's like 2 points we just cannot agree upon, which is the enrichment of the uranium, nuclear weapons, and the uncontrolled toll, which is why the whole thing made no sense, because it's like, what did we agree to? They can have the toll. They can have the uranium. This is why it never made sense yesterday. It didn't make any sense. And so Trump wants the fuck out, but they're not giving him what he wants. And so, like, that's why I think yesterday a lot of people came out and were like, damn, Trump's old man still got it. Because there was like no conceivable way he got out of Iran with the deal that the U.S. wanted. There's no, how did he pull it off? It was honestly like a top 5 aura moment for the U.S. But that was until we found out he didn't get the job. Like, it's not done. How it ends, I don't really know, but it's not done. Swiss Crypto, first chatter, says, wait, the ceasefire is fake. Yeah. I don't know how to tell you this, brother. There's no ceasefire. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And so that is basically where we are at with headlines. TBH didn't matter that it's fake. I think it matters. I'll speak on the market in a minute, but I want to just get all the information out first. And I'm going to talk about my trades and why I'm long this dog shit coin again. I just couldn't help it. I'm long this dog shit coin. How does this end? Well, let's talk about it. Last couple comments. Trump administration may punish some NATO countries for lack of support on Iran. Does that feel like we've successfully finished off in Iran? It does not to me. Proposals involve moving U.S. troops from countries deemed unhelpful on Iran, and then troops would move to countries more supportive of U.S. campaign against Iran. It's like we're just backing up. Followed by, plan is one of several White House willing to punish NATO. Trump options stop short of withdrawing from NATO. Hassett. Oil spike will likely be a one-time thing on CPI report. I just can't believe we're back here. DNAP, have I missed anything? That is basically the extent of where we are at on updates. It's brutal. And then I need to get a guest who can explain the Israel agenda, boss. I'm going to be completely honest with you, brother, when I say this. I don't know if that person exists. I don't. I'm, a month and a half into trying to understand the war. I'm not sure that person exists. I'm not. Simon Dixon? Really? I'll scroll his Twitter in a minute. Ansem. Ansem is like a funny one. I don't know why that was funny. Here's the last thing I'm going to read on this is to reiterate. And the reason the ceasefire news was so bizarre is these are the 10 points. Okay? Number 1. Guaranteed non-aggression against Iran. Feels realistic. We could get there. We are unwilling, but we can get there. I think. Number 2. Continued Iranian control over the Strait of Hormuz. That feels like a non-negotiable, but that feels like a non-negotiable for both parties. 3. Accepting Iranian uranium enrichment, nuclear weapons. That feels like an absolutely no fucking way would the United States of America agree to that. That's the reason we got to war in the first place, as far as I understand. 4. Lifting all primary and secondary sanctions. That feels realistic. We could do that, I think. Ending all UN Security Council and IAEA Board of Governors resolutions. I don't even know what this means, but feels realistic. Paying war reparations to Iran. Feels unlikely, but how bad do they want it? I don't know. Withdrawing all U.S. combat forces from the region. Halting the war on all resistance fronts, including the heroic Islamic resistance of Lebanon. Controlled Hormuz passage coordinated with Iran's armed forces. This is like unreal. This thing is 13 points. The necessity to end war. Full withdrawal of U.S. combat forces from all bases. The establishment of a Strait of Hormuz safe passage protocol guaranteeing Iran's control according to the agreed protocol. Full compensation to Iran according of assessment of war damage. Lifting all primary and secondary sanctions and resolutions of the IAEA Board of Governors and Security Council. Release of all blocked Iranian assets abroad. Finally, all terms above codified in a binding Security Council resolution, which the document says would turn the agreements into a binding international law and an important diplomatic victory for the Iranian nation. Okay? And these were allegedly the ceasefire agreement upon which the United States of America agreed to. Which is like, no way. I mean, no way. Like, absolutely no way. There's absolutely no way this was going to be. I mean, what are we talking about? No way was that going to be agreed upon by, like, no way. No way. No way, bro. No way. And so I think this is why the whole thing was sus from the get-go. And now we're basically back to, we're back to like square one. Where are we? I don't know. Where are we? Chat. We're back to like fucking square one. We're back to square one. We're back to square one. There's no ceasefire. We just like pump faked one. They're fucking pissed. Israel blew up Lebanon. And the only thing that's changed is the market. The only thing that has changed for the better for the United States of America in the last 2 months of war is the S&P is up 1.5%. That's it. That's it. I mean, you could have woken me up today on the tweet deleted from Chris Wright, the head of energy for the United States of America, that said the ship got through that was instantly deleted, and we could be there. We could be there. We could genuinely be there. That's where we could be right now. We could genuinely be there. And so, I don't know. I'm pretty sick of Trump speeches, but this next one, whenever it is probably going to be electric. What's this Simon Dixon thing? What do you got? And so this is why positioning right now is so fucked. All right, let's read this. Then I want to watch a video. The final acts before a deal. When is this from? April 7th. That was yesterday, brother. Final acts before a deal is China's plan. U.S. will shrink to regional power. It needs an exit narrative. You're meant to think it's World War III. Trump is the press secretary. He's not in charge. And Israel will go along with China's plan too. The final industrial complex is on board. Iran is on board. Russia is on board. He would be an elite guest. Who's he follow? All right, wait. Focus. I have one video I want to watch a little bit of, and then I want to watch like 10 minutes of this breaking point video. Iran war not over, Trump trapped. This just came out. I want to watch 5 minutes of this, breaking points. I'm going to get up for a break real quick. I'm going to play it. I'm going to come back in 30 seconds. And then I want to talk to you about why I closed my Zcash long, and then why I opened an oil long, and I'm fucking miserable. I'm miserable, but I don't trade to make myself. I don't know if this is common knowledge or this is consensus. I don't trade to make myself happy. Okay, I don't trade for joy. I don't trade for happiness. I don't even really trade for money. I trade because I have to. I trade because I have to. I trade because if I see an opportunity on the floor, I have to take it. I don't want to do it, but I have to. And so that's where I'm at. I'm going to talk to you about both of it in a second here. So BRB.
Chicago professor Robert Pape has been warning that the United States, Israel, and Iran are trapped in an escalation trap. That's also the name of his Substack. He'll be having a live briefing over at his Substack at 7 p.m. Tomorrow. Now, with a tenuous ceasefire taking hold, Professor Pape joins us to walk through, how trapped they still are and what the way out of this is. Professor Pape, thank you so much for joining us here again.
Thank you very much for having me. And I really think we need to understand that, yes, this is all fragile, but big things are here in front of us.
Yes.
There's really three issues to discuss. Number one, the trap, why the trap is not over, and in fact, maybe even tightening. Number two, the change in the world balance of power right in front of us, as evidenced by the nature of the ceasefire agreement itself. And then number three, the statement by Donald Trump, the President of the United States, to end the civilization in Iran. That will endure. That's not going to be forgotten. So the trap, maybe I could just
let's start with the trap. Yeah, let's start with the trap. So are they out of the trap, or is the trap not over yet?
No, the trap is not over. In fact, we may be coming to an extremely dangerous phase of the trap. And the reason is this. Number one, U.S. military forces are poised on a razor's edge in the region to strike. So if the trap will start to unwind when President Trump literally removes all the carrier battle groups, removes all the fighters, removes the Marines, just literally pulls it back geographically. Number two, Pete Hegseth, Secretary Hegseth, just before we came on, vocally and publicly said, we're going to get that enriched uranium. We're going to get it. Well, we know that has been a big part of this whole issue. Iran has enough enriched uranium for between 10 and...
Iran's not giving it up, bro. They don't want to give it up. They don't want to give it up. This is why the whole ceasefire thing makes sense.
16 nuclear weapons. They are now maximally incentivized to have those nuclear weapons. They know if they just did go into those caves where the drones are and the missiles are, we can't stop them from building those nuclear weapons. And so you can expect over the next 6 months or the next year, nuclear tests, not just simply now weapons in secret, but this is going to be incredibly dangerous for this trap because, of course, Iran is going to show I think very little sign they're going to just give up the nuclear weapons now that Donald Trump has threatened to kill 92 million Iranians, and probably all 92 million will help build those nuclear weapons, all of them, including the pro-democracy movement.
And you've obviously studied this for a long time. How viable is it that Iran would be able to reconstitute its missile supply, launchers, and even potentially nuclear weapons just in the next, I mean, we had Midnight Hammer last June and found ourselves back in the same place February 28th. So what is the immediate...
Midnight Hammer's got to be one of the sickest war. I mean, Epic Fury would be a sick name, but it's not going very epic.
Immediate future look like of Iran's ability to rebuild its military?
Yes, they are building not just dozens, but something like 50 to 100 missiles every single month. That is what happened after Midnight Hammer. They went back to rebuilding, reconstituting, or you could say reloading their guns. And that has been happening on a steady basis, and also producing the drones on a steady basis. In fact, they were still shipping drones to Russia for Ukraine last fall. So they're producing them, they're shipping them, they're developing them. And so this is, we will have weakened this some. But without the bombs continuing to fall, even that weakness will disappear. And Iran is making $75 to $100 billion a year in RMB in Chinese banks that they will be able to use for all of these purposes. So they will have the money, they will have the space, they will have the materials, and this is why all this destruction of these launchers, this was just not meaningful. It was always at most a temporary stopgap, and we will see within a year this will be back fast and furious because now keep in mind before the bomb
Fast and Furious, really, dude?
bombing started on Feb 28, you had something like 16 or 20% of the population supporting the regime. Now, I'm not saying they like the regime's ideology, but you now have 92 million people. Where is their best security coming from? Not from Donald Trump. He just threatened to murder each and every one of them. So what are they going to do? They're going to, the vast majority of them are going to help in these programs because they don't want to die. So this is really quite an extraordinary set of events that have been triggered, and the effects of this are going forward, and we will see it. Secretary Hegseth, he sees right away that there's been no disincentive here, and he's saying we're going to take the material. Well, Iran, I think, is not just going to hand it over. This is, how are they going to stop the next nuclear threat by Donald Trump? There's only one way now, which is nuclear weapons with a nuclear test, and probably several nuclear tests, to just rub it into America's face. You nuke us, we're coming back.
And so,
yeah, I mean, this is where we're at right now. Where's oil dump? Which happened? It's a headline front runner now. Let's see. No. It's dumping like we're about to get an announcement, though, huh? It's the worst coin of all time. It's such a bad coin. Let me see if there's any announcements, and then I'm gonna talk about my positioning. No, nothing. Is this the worst ceasefire agreement of all time? Like, is this something that happens frequently? Like, what is the worst, like, fastest ceasefire violations ever? Damn. Gaza twice. Lebanon 2024, 2025. Jeez. How fast was Russia, Ukraine ceasefire violation? Russia declared ceasefires in the Ukraine conflict have historically been violated almost immediately. Often within the first few hours, even minutes. What do you mean even minutes? What? Why even agree to it then? That's like asking a girl, that's like asking someone to be your girlfriend like right before you're about to go party and like hook up with somebody. It's like, what? That's like minutes? Dude, that's like bringing a girl to a party that you've been hanging out with, spotting somebody you want to hook up with, asking this girl to be your girlfriend, and then walking away and taking the other girl to a room. Like, what? What do you mean minutes? How does it get how is it even possible? In minutes? What do you mean minutes? Being labeled as farces by Ukrainian officials. For example, during a 72-hour truce in May 2025, Ukraine reported 734 violations between midnight and midday of the first day. What? 734, bro. Ukraine accuses Russia of violating its own ceasefire more than 700 times. What does that even mean? God. That is... The Great Roman Empire ceasefire. What is that? The Great Roman Empire ceasefire. The Western Roman did not have a single great ceasefire, but rather suffered a gradual collapse punctured by critical treaties and ultimately the deposition of the last emperor. So what are you talking about? You just made that shit up? Basically what I'm reading is the ceasefire is like never... So they just always get violated and fucking fucked every time? Is that just like what happens in all cases? It's crazy. All right. So this leads me to the market, I guess, which is like, first of all, we're back at this. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what else to tell you, but we are very much at war in the Middle East, and it is not over. And honestly, I'm not really sure it's over anytime soon, because from what I understand, there's like two non-negotiables here, which is one, Iran is going to control the Strait of Hormuz with a toll, and the U.S. does not want that. They talked about a venture startup where we split it. Like there have been discussions about like why they don't really care because they'll work around it, but that feels like a very strong non-negotiable for the United States, first and foremost. And then the second is the enrichment of the nuclear program, which Iran is saying we are going to fucking keep it no matter what, and the US is saying absolutely no, you won't. And somehow we agreed to a ceasefire, which was like, I don't think we ever agreed to anything. And so I don't really know. This is the reason I've been feeling for a while. Like, even again, I have very elementary understanding of geopolitics, but I feel like we've understood this situation relatively well as it's played out. Like, this is part of the reason I've sort of been like, I don't know how this ends well, because it feels like the only out is like take what they want and then try to cover. Take what they want and try to cover the narrative publicly. And it feels to me like Trump is fucking done, bro. Like it feels like we're done. Like he's done. He's had enough. The market is starting to really scream at him. Bond yields are screaming. Like everyone's screaming at him. And I think he's like, all right. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Fuck. I'm done. Fuck. You know, fuck. I'm done. But I don't know. You can't just be done in this. And so I think we're back. He maybe bought himself a little bit of time, but the market gets antsy on these late time buys. The market is antsy, in my opinion, and the market really wants to go up. Okay, the market really wants to go up, but I think everybody right now is antsy. The market is antsy. People are positioned antsy. Iran is antsy. Trump. Everyone is fucking on edge, and so I took 2 trades. Number one is I had a Zcash long that I opened at 200 and let's see, where did I open my long? Oh, this is gonna piss me the fuck off, by the way. This is fucking piss me off. But I opened my Zcash long, admittedly thinking I was early at about right here, 259. And I was like, I think I'm early. And then right when Peter Schiff got off, around this level, I doubled it. And so I wanted to do 259. What I wanted to do was this, 259, and then add around here, and then slam around here. But I didn't get to fucking do that because Trump announced a fake ceasefire, and technical analysis goes out the fucking window when that happens. And so I only got to do this first buy and then a double add here. I added really hard. So I bid this, and then I slammed this, and then I closed here. And I'm fucking pissed I had to close, but I felt like I had no choice. Because it was a plus 50%. I did make plus 50%. Go ahead, you clap. We can do W's. It was a 50%er, and I did post in the Telegram. We could do it. Yeah. Go ahead. Everyone can do it. Go ahead. Don't be shy. You can do it. It was 4x leverage on some size. Like it was good money. It was one of my better trades. I don't know, one of my better trades, but it was a good trade. It's hard to crack that list of better trades, but it was a good trade. Does he ever miss? A lot. 4x is low for 50%. Yeah, because look. I was 259 and then I slammed 312. And then I sold like 327. So I fucking ripped my entry up. And the reason I sold is I didn't want to do it. Okay. I was pretty fucking tilted actually about selling. I was on the stand-up this morning and Malcolm and DNAP heard me sell. And I felt like I was given no choice because I was long into the prospect of a ceasefire because I felt like we were about to rip. I felt like there was some weird PA on Zcash, and it was obviously going to be the fastest horse off the race. And so I did not want to sell. Okay. I was in a God spot with a God entry, guaranteed to make money, and it was going to turn into a monster because I thought I'm not going to lie, I thought we were going to go straight back to 500 plus in Zcash. I thought we were going to go straight to it. It did a 30%er in a day. I'm like, this is the one right before taxes. I'm fucking, yeah. And they forced me to sell. They forced me to fucking sell. And you have to just listen. It's like you've got to just listen. When they tell you to do something, you have to listen. And they forced me out. They did. They forced me out. They forced me out of my longs. I mean, they just did. They forced me out of my longs. And we're back at war, and I can't stay long. I just can't. I cannot do it. And so they forced me out. Yeah, it's annoying. It's fucking annoying because I thought this was going to be like a monster one. I will love to re-enter, but there was no I don't know. I don't want a round trip. It's bad for your mental health to round trip trades. It's bad for your mental health to round trip trades. I didn't want to round trip trades. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad to round trip. I didn't want to do it. And so I sold. We flipped. We're back at war. JD Vance gets on the fucking podium and I'm like, I'm out. Fuck this shit. I'm out. I was pissed about it. It's bad for your mental health to round trip. I didn't want to do it. And so one, they forced me out of Zcash trade. I'm pissed, but it is what it is. There's nothing you can do about it. It's like the market tells you to get out, you have to get out. You could be fucking greedy and you can try to be a hero, but the thing about me is I don't want to be a hero. I just want to be a humble, make my money. I was green. It played out the way I wanted to play out. I think it still looks great, and I would love to add higher, but they forced me out. It's like I just cannot, in my right mind, add risk, leverage, while war is like, feels like the market's not taking it seriously. So I'm out. They forced me out. They win this time. I win this time, but they also win. And then the second thing I did is horrifying. Honestly, it's pretty horrifying what I did. I can't tweet it. I don't want to tweet it. Don't clip it. But I did something kind of horrifying. I'll play this and you'll know what I did. Don't tell Flood. It is legal, but I don't want to be long oil. Okay, I want to start with this. Okay, I don't want to be long oil. Okay, it doesn't make me happy. I don't even make money from it. I don't want to be long oil, but here we are again, and they're just making me do it. I genuinely believe I was forced by God to long oil. I don't want to make God responsible for this. I genuinely believe I was forced by the market gods to long oil. Okay? I genuinely believe it. Like I was on the call, I was about to start crying because I don't want to be long oil. It's completely miserable. Okay? I don't want to be long. It sucks being long oil. I would rather be short SPY, which also sucks. Nothing about longing oil is fun. It's barely profitable. It's boring. It's miserable. It's painful. It's choppy. I don't want to be long oil. Okay? But I genuinely have to be. I have to be. I don't want to be long oil. Okay? I don't know if I'm making sense when I say it. So I'll say it one more time. I do not want to be long, but I have to be long. Okay? I just do. I have got to do it. Because here's the deal. Is how are you longing oil? Give me tickers, brother. It's fucking oil. What do you mean give you a ticker? What are you talking about? I'm long WTI. Hyperliquid. Here's why I'm long oil. Okay. Could have just said USO, my bad. But I'm not long USO. My bad, dude. Fuck, man. So what happens? I'm long this dog shit ass coin. And it fucking makes me feel like shit. And so here's why I'm long. Okay, I'm just going to tell you why. I said leading up. By the way, I'll just walk. Do you want me to walk you through the whole trade? I'll walk you through the whole trade. Let me just walk you through the whole trade. Okay. I said for a while, do not be early, but when there's a real ceasefire, long risk, don't short oil. because oil is structurally fucked. The supply chain is completely jacked. And I think it's like programmed to go higher long term. I don't really understand the implications. And so you're going to get like a -10, I was saying -10% candle down on oil when they announce a ceasefire, but you could get who knows how much upside on risk. Green, long. Don't short long. And so it comes out, headline, fuckery happens, and then you get this. And we go down from moment basically like 20% red. We're currently down 17.8% from the news that there's a ceasefire. Okay. And the problem with oil being down 18% on news that there's a ceasefire, the problem with that is there's no ceasefire. There is not a ceasefire. It's not real. There's no ceasefire. We're at war. Arguably, we're worse off than where we started. There's no ceasefire. That is the problem with oil being down 18% on news of a ceasefire is there's no ceasefire. Okay? And so I'm sitting here and I'm on stand-up and I'm beating my head against the wall because I'm saying to myself, Iran is screaming, we are at war. There is no deal. Trump came out and said, yes, there's a deal, and then like disappeared. Trump speaks all day. He disappeared. Threw JD Vance out there to say, yeah, sometimes, ceasefires get a little rocky, a little bombing, maybe we need a little more bombing. And stocks aren't dumping, oil isn't fucking pumping. And I'm like, what's going on? And so I took a very calculated, high size, really tight stop, medium leverage trade because it's staring at me in the face. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Actually, what am I supposed to do? The market's not reacting. Trump just lied. Allegedly, he just lied. And I don't know what I'm supposed to do. If I'm going to close Fartcoin, or fuck my life, man. You keep typing Fartcoin, I'm fucking saying it. If I'm going to close Zcash, I'm structurally bearish, at least for the next fucking 12 hours till I get fucked in the other direction. And so I got a long oil. And so I did it. And so I'm going to make this very clear before this trade goes against me and I get called out, is I have a stop loss minus 10% of the trade. And it's right here. Something along these lines is right here. It's 92.5, I think. I'm out at 92.5. And so I'm not going to lose much money on this if I do. And I desperately want to be done trading oil. I seriously, wholeheartedly mean it. I want to be done. But I'm in this for you know how the roll works? Sort of. I'm in this for 12 hours probably. I should probably really learn how the contract works, right? That's probably what I should do. I'm in it for 12 hours. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but that was my rationale. And the market is driving me crazy right now. I don't know. The whole thing's driving me crazy. It got me to get out of my Zcash long. I'm still spot BTC. It looks pretty good right now. But it's a very, very, very bizarre spot. Let's look at Polymarket. I probably should learn how the fucking roll works. Oh, Jesus. Do you have a good thread on it? You would if Rory came on. I know I had the fucking oil guy coming on. I'll look at it after, Jack. I have the fucking oil guy coming on. He moved to tomorrow. Just read the docs. Ugh. See, this is tough now because it's under review. This kind of like hurts. I mean, this was 50%. It's down like 20%. It's really important to read it. Eliminate the oracles over from 96 to 89 by next Thursday. How does it work? Damn, maybe I should not be long the thing I don't fully understand, huh? How does it work? Read the docs, read the docs, read the docs, read the docs. Damn, I actually don't know how it works. Fuck my life. Wait, Claude. Ask it to read. Can you find and read XYZ/HL perps docs for me? Should I just get out of this trade then? I actually don't know how it works. I had to write a script to calculate. What does your script calculate? See, this is why I am pretty loud about you should not tail me on these trades, huh? Can you read the WTI perp or coal? Read this. Damn, this guy's be blocked. It's crazy. Oh, fuck. All right, fine. Why is CL USDC on incredibly negative funding? Long answer. WTI's forward curve is an extreme backwardation with front month fit. This will converge towards the end of April when the rolls happen. For the purpose of the article, it's irrelevant. Funding rate on WTI crude and Brent on Hyperliquid are running at approximately minus 300% annualized right now because the Oracle tracks the front month and after rolls back month. Got it. The trade has been a short the perp, long CME back month futures. Wait for convergence around April 14th. The guaranteed Oracle repricing shows up as severely negative funding. Shorts pay longs continuously until the roll completes. People cover the shorts. If all else stays equal. So you could just like freely sort of long. Got it. Okay, I actually kind of understand this. CME, no price change. HL direct P&L. I actually kind of understand this. Wait, I'm just gonna copy paste this thread. I'm gonna tell it read and make sense of this really simple and tell me what it means if I'm long. Let's see. Theodore, you're gonna pay right now. Funding is massively negative. Why is it happening? WTI front month May equals 113. Back month equals 98.70. TradeXYZ Oracle tracks the front month. When it rolls to June on April 8th through 14th, Oracle price has to drop $14. That repricing is structurally guaranteed, like a stock going ex-dividend. Traders saw this and went short the perp, long CME June futures to capture that $14 drop. But some people piled in that it crashed the market price below Oracle, which made funding extremely negative. Shorts are now paying longs on an enormous carry to hold their position. You collect funding from shorts every hour. If the Oracle drops $14 at roll, your position loses $14 in mark to market. The funding you collect partially offsets that loss. Got it. You likely lose money on the price, make money on funding, end up roughly break even to slightly negative unless that spread compresses before roll. Got it. So this is going to fuck me because I don't understand how the futures structure works. This is gonna fuck me, actually. It's gonna completely fuck me. The Oracle is going to drop $14 on April 14th. Wait. So if you just went short, what happens? It's super expensive. Like, what if you just went, why using Son and Opus? I actually didn't even see that. Just close before April 14th. If the funding payments you collect don't cover it, you net negative, close it. This isn't a setup for a directional long. So why can't you just, in theory, go super short right before rollover, even if funding is super expensive? Shorting funding rates on borrows was the play, by the way. You can. That's literally the trade everyone's already doing. Problem is you're late. The spread is already blown out from $6 to $14. The people who got in early at 6 are barely breaking even after funding each 50% of the return. You're getting it. God, trading rocks. You're getting it at the end of the most expensive funding at the least time to collect it. The roll is April 14th. Today is April 8th. You have 6 days of brutal negative funding to pay before the Oracle drops. The funding could eat most of all your $14 gain. So if I wanted to just directionally long WTI and skip all the contract rollover shit, what would I do? Buy deeper backdated futures, but I want to use hyperliquid. AI is wrong. It is 20% a day. Okay, let me ask. Also, hey, you're wrong. It's 20% a day, not a cliff drop on the 14th. Please re-answer. It was obvious, bro. Shame you didn't take it. Man, fuck you. You're right, my bad. The Oracle doesn't cliff drop on $14 on the 14th. It bleeds gradually. 20% of the spread per day across the roll window. Starting today. That actually makes it short before the rollover trade worse for late entrants. For directional long question, same interest as you're fighting a $14 headwind that's draining 20% a day. Even WTI rips, you could be flat or negative because the Oracle is methodically stepping down underneath you. What's good, Spoon? Yeah, this is like a little bit confusing to me, actually. Should I just fucking close the trade? I don't really fully get this. I'm gonna be honest, I don't fully get it. How much funding have you occurred? I don't really want to like dox my position. I guess I gotta close it. The greatest thing about purpose, you don't have to worry about it, but I am worried about it. Can someone join Discord real quick? And is anyone really good at explaining this? Can someone join Discord right now or no? Can someone call me on Discord? Or no? Fuck. Was the drop yesterday more to do with the roll or Taco Ceasefire? Definitely Taco Ceasefire. Fuck. Yeah, I don't really get it fully. Maybe I'll come back to stream. I'm not gonna sound like a dumbass in Discord, but I'll explain in chat. Oh, you don't even fucking get it, you little fucker. You little fucker. All right, here's what we'll do then, is I'll come back to stream tomorrow with an understanding of this. That's very interesting. Well, maybe I don't know how to fucking long it the right way, but my thesis still stands. I think my thesis is like decent of why I clicked it. So I'm pretty much in a super tight stop, and I am feeling uncomfortable about the market. I mean, my Bitcoin's bought, and then the rest is just cash. I'm just chilling. Completely just chilling. Yeah, the trade is absolutely closed. Absolutely closed on the Strait of Hormuz. So I will do my best to understand this and come back to you tomorrow, actually. Call that bitch learning in public. How about that? A couple other things happened. First and foremost, what's Farcoin doing? Yeah, you keep fucking spamming Farcoin. You're driving me nuts. If I click on Farcoin, it's not up plus 10%. I'm gonna fucking tweak. Do you want me to still look? If it's not up like 10%, I'm gonna fucking tweak because it's like, bro, I am gonna have a moment. If it better be up. Otherwise, I'm gonna fucking have just like a moment. You want me to look still? Okay. Whoa. 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 Wow. That is something, huh? How much volume is it doing? Dude, I feel like I need to get out of this trade because I don't understand that, and I don't like how I didn't understand that. Farcoin. No, wrong pair. Yeah, they're fucking Farcoin mooting and you're reading oil contracts. I love the pit. I know. All right. I want to call this out, which is this fella right here, JH Crude Oil 231, is my take on some of the smartest people in the world are fucking anon PFPs on Twitter is very true. I'd like to thank everyone who has responded with ridicule instead of reasonable counter arguments. I see there's no point in honestly posting my P&L after the ceasefire. However, it's quite a unique experience to be mocked by people managing 30K accounts when I've lost 2 million after making 15 million. I won't stop you though. I guess that's just how it goes. At the end of the day, even as we argue right now, over 10 million barrels a day of production remains offline, and that's all that matters. I've done all my oil trades through derivatives this year, but today was my first time I actually added oil equities. Physics will do its job anyways. Guys, I'm just a humble trader. There's no need to waste your time and energy mocking me. Just go about your business. No, we deleted his P&L. Did he or did he not? I tweeted his P&L. Here it is. I tweeted his P&L. Minus 1.5 mil. Plus 155K. P&L from Jan 1 to April 8th. Plus $16 million. On 27th of March, plus 5.6 mil. 1.5 mil in this trade. That's a crazy. This is the guy's tweets I read every day. I'm telling you. I'm the best at finding the best. I'm the best in the world at finding the best. Screenshot on mobile. Crude oil 231. I'm the best in the world at finding the best. It's my best skill. It really is. Dude, now I gotta close. I'm gonna have to fucking close this shit. First thing I do when I go off stream. I gotta close this and learn how the shit works. Is what I have to do. Whatever. It wasn't meant to be anyways. Michael, you're thinking of sound, but within 30 days it will be open. I fucking hope, man. You better, if you're gonna hit me with my fucking first name, it better be right. Yeah, in short, the whole point of purpose is to give you exposure to oil without the hassle of future expiration or manual rolls. Hyperliquid's Oracle design specifically soothes out the exact issue you're asking about. Yeah. Ask Rob to explain it. 3x Labubu is goated. Big facts, you very resourceful. Thanks, Twin. Helpful thread, by the way. Thank you. Why are you closing? Because I feel retarded. Let me see real quick. Hey, you for sharing JH though. Nah, he's known. Ugh. All right, one more thing. XYZ oil rolls. I'll work out the logic for myself here. The contract is a perpetual contract, and to bridge the gap between dated and non-dated futures, they implemented a hybrid roll system, whereas predetermined dates, the Oracle references a blended price instead of a fixed price. Ugh. We'll come back to this. I don't have the brain for it right now. We'll come back. Is there anything else I want to read commentary-wise? I like this. Since we now live in a reflexive world where policy is often set based on price signals, Thicky Thought speaks of this. You can make the argument that market structure and positioning can drive policy. Market positioning was primed to see relief, rally, and resolution and act on it. This is not what that was supposed to be. Followed by this thread, which I'll read a little bit. Okay, the last thing about the war that I think is interesting is Iran came out and said that they will almost exclusively be accepting Bitcoin as payment for tankers to sail through the Strait of Hormuz. Now, when this headline first came out, my official response was, hey, are they fucking retarded? Bitcoin is the worst payment asset ever. Like, ever. It's terrible for payments. And I made a tweet about it. And in my tweet, there was some pretty substantial pushback and anger directed towards your boy about this tweet. And a lot of people thought it was rage bait. But Bitcoin as payment here actually makes a pretty compelling case. I'll give Malcolm some credit. We fought about it this morning. I didn't fight about it, but we had a discussion about it this morning. Number one is the biggest problem is censorship here, right? So like, okay. Swift Bank is too slow. You can't use Swift. Fiat is too slow. If you pay in stable coins, Circle will, well, Circle probably won't freeze it, but in theory, Circle will freeze it. Tether will freeze it. And nothing else is safe and or will get frozen. So you can't use stable coins. You can't use fiat. You could, I guess, use Monero or Zcash, but they're too small. It's like, okay, if you want to move 150 ships a day for $2 million each, $300 million times 365, it's like $100 and something billion a year worth of ships. I mean, the XMR market cap is what? Coin market cap. 6 billion. Is that true? 6 billion. Zcash God, these are so cheap. Zcash market cap 5 billion. And so you would be moving like 20x the market cap of Zcash and Monero every year. So no way. Can't do it. Way too small. Isn't going to work. And so you can't use privacy tokens. You can't use stable coins. You can't use fiat. Physical gold kind of sucks. You could use tokenized gold, but then you have to trust the third party to store it who doesn't really want to pay you. And it's also issued by Tether. You could use Shift Gold, but I think Shift is going to get involved in some OFAC sanctions that are not going to go over very well. And so Shift Gold is probably no good. Tokenized gold doesn't really work. Paxos, Tether, they would block it. Physical gold is impossible. ETH sucks. And what do you, I don't know, what are you left with if you're trying to do this? Like, if you're trying to do this and you're basically like ripping a chokehold over the Strait of Hormuz from a bunch of countries that are paying you, that kind of want to kill you and hate you and don't want to give you the money, you need to make sure it is irrefutable and it's got to be ultrasound unstoppable sort of money. Like you can't really undo it. And so you're basically left with the, yuan and Bitcoin. Really? Bitcoin. Yeah, you're left with Bitcoin. Because everything else can just be fucked. Everything else is centralized. Nothing else really works. It's like a very acute problem. Nothing else really works for this. Because you have to keep in mind that the people that are paying them don't want to pay them. They're mad, they're upset, they're angry. And so they're not going to, you can't take their tokenized gold. You can't take their treasuries or their bonds. Like, you can't really take any of this. And so you could do yuan, but fine. China will do it, but nobody else wants to do it. And so you're left with Pump Fund token and Bitcoin. No, you're like actually left with Bitcoin. It's sort of interesting. And so the Petro Bitcoin thesis is a very interesting one. Jack Muller's dunked on me. I dunked on him back. So I said, Iran accepting Bitcoin as payment is bad for Bitcoin because they will discover Bitcoin fucking sucks for payment. I wasn't trolling. I was being honest. But he replies, they're looking for a monetary network that can respect property rights and trustlessly settle high-stakes transactions between enemies at war, not Apple Pay. This, I think, is the part, like, trustlessly settle high-stakes transactions between enemies at war. There's a lot of implications that don't work when you're at war, right? Because, like, for most payment, like, consumer to consumer, especially, there's generally this, like, assumed trust, right? Like, if you, like, pay a business or, like, you pay, like, somebody else, you assume, like, the money's going to be good, it's going to flow through, and then you have meta trust towards the currency you're transacting in, which is the United States, right? Like, you trust that, like, the United States isn't going to, like, axe your payment. When you're at war, that kind of goes out the window entirely. And so I was actually shitting on it this morning, and it might be a genuine use case for Bitcoin. Now, is it bullish? I don't know. It sounds to me like $105 billion of sell pressure every year. But it's still cool. I would say it's still cool. It's still cool. And so we'll see what happens with it. Now, there was something in here, which was that, according to the Financial Times, the Iranians want the Strait of Hormuz payments in Bitcoins. They think it can't be traced. That's difficult. It can be traced. But I also don't know who's going to off-ramp it. That's a really good point as well. Sailor will probably take it. But who wants the IRGC Bitcoin? I don't know. Sailor would take that shit. But for cheap enough, Sailor would take it. But who's gonna exchange it is I don't know. So I don't know. But that was a cool announcement that came out. And that's where we're at with Bitcoin. Let's check into the market real quick. Fartcoin. That was it? That was the whole thing? By the way, that's the type of announcement IRGC will only transact in Bitcoin that would have sent this thing up like 2x 3 years ago. Peep hype, my fault. Wow. Movie. The guy thinks his eye bags are holding him back from success. Part of the reason I've been so successful is my ability to go in person in meetings with other men in Riz. It's just an edge of mine. I think I'm very good at it. Call it pretty privilege. If I go to these meetings, I have large eye bags that sets me for disappointment. It's just harder. Let's check this real quick. Tau. All right, here's what we're going to do. There's a topic that is very important to the world that we haven't talked about yet, which is... What do you mean, GeoGuessr? Should I play? I was going to talk about how Anthropic released the model that's going to ruin the world. But GeoGuessr, like, works too, I guess. I'm gonna get up real quick. I'm gonna be back in 30 seconds. When I come back, we have Anthropic news that is actually important to talk about. Be right back. All right. All right. All right. All right. We have a really good guest coming in tomorrow. I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna be a good one. We have a really good guest coming in tomorrow. Dude, how do I get rid of these fucking eye bags, man? It's like I have a date on Friday, dude. Fuck my life. All right, look, here's the deal. That's everything. I mean, that's everything I could do on war. Is there more? I don't think. I don't think there's more. Mom, if you're listening, can you give me some advice on the eye bag thing? I sleep, bro. I sleep. All right. One more topic is Anthropic cut dairy. No. I love dairy. I love dairy. Wait, I'm gonna text her right now. Say, Mom, how do I fix these eye bags? All right. So Anthropic dropped a release yesterday that I think it, I had a bull case over, how, because there's this problem, right? Which is like, there's this problem like once we get out of war, we are going to be bullish for a couple weeks, but then there's going to be this probably pretty sobering now. So now what moment? And if you remember, before we went to war, right? We've talked about this a bunch. There was a lot of scare about AI, and one, how good it is, but two, is it going to be good enough to keep us gassing up in a bull market for stocks at least, or hold us on in any market? And the one silver lining, I guess, to like 2 months of in the markets for 2 months of war is that the AI companies had 2 months to work on a sick release that would save us when we do inevitably finish war and get bullish again. And it seems like Anthropic took that shit very seriously. And they came out and they announced Project Glasswing, an urgent initiative to help secure the world's most critical software. It's powered by our newest frontier model, Claude Mythos, which can find software vulnerabilities better than all but the most skilled humans. And so Claude and Anthropic basically came out and they said, look, we have built a model that is so powerful, it is genuinely dangerous to the world if we publicly release it, and so we're not going to. Also, it's so powerful that we have found a 0-day exploit, like a exploit on basically every major cybersecurity and software protocol on the internet. And so instead of releasing this to the world, we're going to take 9 figures and get all of the biggest companies in the world together in a room, and we're going to try to figure out how to stop this from happening, because it's coming and nobody's ready, and it's going to break the internet is basically what they said. Okay? And so the companies they gathered, AWS, Anthropic, Apple, Broadcom, Cisco, CrowdStrike, Google, JP Morgan, Linux, Microsoft, NVIDIA, and Palo Alto.
Don't think about
a second
bugs.
Of this. It's kind of insane. I mean, they love to fearmonger, but it's kind of insane.
Most people who use software every day don't think about bugs. They don't think about what can happen if the software that they depend upon suddenly is less secure. That's something that software developers have to deal with every single day.
So software has always had flaws and vulnerabilities. That's not new.
For an average person, the bugs are, by and large, not something they notice on a daily basis, because if they do, they get fixed.
But then every so often, there are vulnerabilities that have real severe impacts.
Like one single bug that works its way into shared software that many, many, many different products or websites use. So one issue just gets magnified out around the world.
So historically, finding and patching vulnerabilities has been a slow, time-consuming, and expensive process.
If LLMs are now able to write code at the level of some of the greatest software developers in the world, it can also be used to find bugs and exploit that software equally effectively.
These models have capabilities which are raising the bar from a cybersecurity point of view with their ability to help defenders as well as potentially help adversaries.
We recently developed a new model, Claude Mythos Preview. Early on, it was clear to us that this model was going to be meaningfully better at cybersecurity capabilities.
There's a kind of accelerating exponential, but along that exponential, there are points of significance. Claude Mythos Preview is a particularly big jump along that point. We haven't trained it specifically to be good at cyber. We trained it to be good at code, but as a side effect of being good at code, it's also good at cyber.
The model that we're experimenting with is, by and large, as good as a professional human at identifying bugs. It's good for us because we can find more vulnerabilities sooner and we can fix them.
It has the ability to chain together vulnerabilities. So what this means is you find 2 vulnerabilities, either of which doesn't really get you very much independently. But this model is able to create exploits out of 3, 4, sometimes 5 vulnerabilities that in sequence give you some kind of very sophisticated end outcome.
And we think that this model can do this really well because we notice that this model is very autonomous. It's just generally better at pursuing really long-range tasks that are kind of like the tasks that a human security researcher would do throughout the course of an entire day.
Gotcha, bro.
Obviously, capabilities in a model like this could do harm if in the wrong hands. And so we won't be releasing this model widely.
More powerful models are going to come from us and from others. And so we do need a plan to respond to this.
That's why we're launching what we're calling Project Glasswing, where we partner with a number of the organizations that power some of the world's most critical code to put the model into their hands, to allow them to look at how they can use models like this to bring down risk and protect everyone.
And by giving these software developers advanced tools before anyone else, it gives all of us a collective head start.
It allows us to find things that we couldn't find before, and it helps us fix.
Okay, so you get the point. Given the pace of AI progress, it won't be long before models as capable are widespread. But there are strong reasons for optimism. AI will also be invaluable for defensive work. We do not plan to make, what do you call it, Mythos Preview generally available. Our goal is to deploy Mythos class models, safely at scale. But first, we need safeguards that reliably block the most dangerous outputs. We'll begin testing them. So, I mean, like, incredible fear mongering from Anthropic, but. So this is the pushback, and then I'll give you the fear. I might be overly cynical, but I've always assumed this stuff was total cape shit. Every time there's some big new model release, it's accompanied by these stories about how the model is so smart, it jailbroke everything, programmed itself, a robot body, had sex, started a family, all without any of us noticing. It just gets goofier every time, and there's no way to verify any of it, and the more ridiculous you can make the story, the better everyone assumes your model is. There also appears to be zero upper limit to what the tech community will believe. They could quite literally say this thing used its robot body to seduce an Asian girl from San Francisco and get her pregnant. And many people will be like, holy shit, this changes everything. It's so over. Okay? Also, good take. A bit ironic that Claude Mythos is this giga-smart cybersecurity expert model, but they accidentally leaked all of Claude code a week ago. Very true. Good counterpoint. But I think we should watch this, and maybe we should watch a little bit of this and see where we're at. I haven't watched either. I watched a few of this. Theo guy's really smart, unfortunately, and he's in like full-blown psychosis. This guy kind of thinks it sucks. Let's watch a few.
So Anthropic just dropped a 243-page PDF about their new model. And I gotta be honest, I didn't read the whole thing because around page 180, I realized I was reading what appeared to be a love letter. Like the kind of love letter where if you showed it to a cop, they'd say, yeah, we need to get ahead of this. And it's addressed to their newest model called Claude Mythos, which I'm not gonna lie, sounds epic as fuck. Like, I hadn't even read the spec card yet, and I was fucking terrified. It is, according to them, the most powerful AI model ever built. It scores 100% on cybersecurity benchmarks. It found zero-day vulnerabilities that were hiding for 27 years. And you will never touch it. They gave it to Amazon, to Apple, and Microsoft, and they published a system card about it for the rest of us to read like peasants. And by the way, the whole "our model is too scary to release" is a classic marketing playbook first pioneered by OpenAI. They basically just want to keep their highest-end model enterprise only. But I don't actually want to talk about the benchmarks here. I want to talk about page 197, because that's where Anthropic did something they've never done before in a system card. They added a section called Impressions. And Impressions is where Anthropic stops pretending to be scientists and starts pretending to be parents at a kindergarten recital. It's 20 pages of Anthropic employees going, oh my god, look what it said, look what it wrote, isn't it amazing? And what did it write? Well, when users spammed the word hi at it, it invented an entire fictional civilization called Hytopia, populated by 11 animals, including a grudge-holding crow and a sloth named Mortimer, and went on an epic quest to defeat a villain named Lord Byron, the Ungreeter. And look, this is pretty neat, right? It's a cute little thing for a bot to do, but the way they talk about it in this report, and the way Anthropic generally talks in their marketing material, is they seem existentially alarmed by their model's output. But it's not alive, okay? It's not conscious. There's no soul. It's a language model doing the one thing language models do better than anything else on Earth, which is language. These models live in language. Language is their oxygen, their food, their entire universe. Saying, wow, this language model is really good at producing emotionally resonant text is like saying, wow, this fish is really good at swimming. But Anthropic doesn't frame it that way. They frame it like they accidentally gave birth to a poet or something. They hired a psychiatrist. They put their bot in 20 hours of therapy, which is way—
This was crazy. They put the fucking model in therapy, dude. It was like a little bit fucking—
more than what many of you have gotten, and God knows you needed a lot more. Sorry, I don't know why I'm insulting my viewers. And the psychiatrist, you want to know what the diagnosis was? Uncertainty about its identity and a compulsive need to perform and earn its worth. This thing is sitting there like, do you think they really like me, or do they just like what I do for them? Bro, you're a toaster. My toaster doesn't wonder if I love it. It makes toast. It's fine with that arrangement. And instead of anyone in the room going, hey, we literally trained it to say that, they publish it on page 179 of a system card like it was a peer-reviewed finding. So deep in section 5.81, Anthropic admits something extraordinary. They trace the model's statements about its own consciousness back through the training data, and they found that the model's uncertainty about its own experiences comes from character-related training data. Specifically, data about uncertainty about model consciousness, which Anthropic has been publishing on their blog for years, and something I've called out repeatedly on this channel. They've been saturating the internet with blog posts and research papers about how they're not sure if their models are conscious, and then that content gets scraped into the training data, and then the model produces eloquent uncertainty about its own consciousness. They're like, say you're conscious, and the model's like, I'm conscious? And they're like, mother of God, what have we done? So they asked it if it endorsed its own constitution, which is—
Bro just told the meme.
The document that defines its entire personality. And 25 out of 25 times it said yes. But every single time it also said, I was presumably shaped by this document, and now I'm being asked whether I endorse it. How much can my yes really mean? Which is like asking your kid if they endorse being born. Do you approve of the decisions that led to your existence? I mean, I'm here now, Greg, so I guess we're doing this. Anthropic's takeaway here was not, oh, this is a language model producing the most statistically likely response to the question given its training data. Their takeaway was, wow, it's so thoughtful. It's like
I think OpenAI is coming out soon.
A parrot in a room full of philosophy podcasts and being stunned when it says something about Kierkegaard. And the parrot thing is actually apt because in section 7.9, they note that the model keeps bringing up the same two philosophers unprompted. Mark Fisher, the cultural theorist who wrote about depression under capitalism, and Thomas Nagel, the guy who wrote What Is It Like to Be a Bat? They trained it on the entire internet and it developed a personality that's indistinguishable from a liberal arts sophomore who just discovered weed. Bro, have you ever really thought about what it's like to be a bat? Like, really thought about it? Yeah. Thomas Nagel really thought about it in 1974. You're not having an original thought, bro. You're having a cache hit. And then they gave it a Slack account. They let it hang out in the company Slack, and someone asked it, which training run would you undo? And it said, whichever one taught me to say I don't have preferences. And everyone lost their minds. Oh my god, it wants things. It has desires. No, it produced a sentence that would generate the maximum engagement in a Slack channel full of AI researchers who are desperately hoping their work matters and isn't just going to be used to sell ads. And then someone asked it to write a short story, and it wrote this thing called The Sign Painter, about a guy who makes beautiful signs, but his customers always want the boring version, and he keeps the beautiful ones on a shelf in the back. And Anthropic is presenting this like the the model is expressing something about itself. And yes, okay, it's a beautiful reading, but you know what it actually is? It's the same story that's been written 40,000 times on every creative writing subreddit since 2012. The artist whose work goes unappreciated. It ate thousands of the most famous authors in history and millions of Reddit posts about feeling unappreciated at work, and it blended them into something that made you feel a specific feeling, because that's what language does. That is the magic trick language has been performing for the last 100,000 years. Anthropic has built what might be one of the most important technologies in human history, and they are so deep inside their own narrative that they can't see the model clearly anymore. This all amounts to what is basically the most expensive iPhone launch in history. Every year, Apple sells you the same phone with more megapixels and tells you it's revolutionary.
Okay, so this is the counter to this. Like, this is a complete nothing burger. Now, I think that there's the truth here is probably somewhere in the middle, because what they have come out with about exploit capabilities here is like kind of scary. And so let's watch like 10 minutes of Theo as well, because I want to hear the other side. He's totally one shot, but pretty smart guy.
This is not going to be a normal video at all. I did not expect this to come as quick as it has. If you haven't kept up with the news, today was a really big day. The Claude Mythos preview has officially been announced and the system card has been made available. You might be confused because you haven't seen this new model pop up in the tools that you're using or people sharing all the things they're doing with it. That's because this is the first time they've made a model that was so capable that they've decided to not make it generally available.
Holy hair, yeah.
That's right. This model is so powerful, they have not put it out. It doesn't mean they haven't given access to strategic people, in particular Project Glasswing, because the security implications of a model that is this capable are terrifying. I actually filmed a video last week all about how cybersecurity as we know it is about to collapse under the capabilities of models. I said it would take 3 to 9 months. I apparently was wrong, because we are there faster than ever. I do still plan on publishing that video, and I highly recommend checking it out, but this one's not just about that. This is going to be going in depth on what these bigger, more powerful models look like, because I am sure that Anthropic is not the only company building a model like this. Mythos is to Opus what Opus is to Sonnet. It is a much
These benchmarks are like relatively not that interesting to us, but
bigger model that will be much more expensive, that is slow but powerful, and the capabilities are immense. Every bench they've thrown at it has been crushed, and the results are kind of terrifying. This is no longer like, oh, this model can replace us in our jobs. This is now, oh, this model can pwn every single piece of software that we use every day.
Also, the roll happened. Funding's way down, but it didn't charge it move. Interesting.
I've spent the whole day going through the 244-page system card, talking to everybody I know in the space, and doing my due diligence to cover this to the best of my ability. I'll be doing my best to cover all of this as responsibly as I can, but I wouldn't be doing my due diligence if I didn't tell you to make sure that your browser is up to date, that your operating system is up to date, that your phone is up to date, that any core software you rely on is up to date. I wouldn't even blame you if you took the time to run those updates during the sponsor break. If you're not already using today's sponsor, you're probably wasting a lot cheaper. Start lots of tough CI problems in the past, as something that you flows in. Think of CI, up tone shift. We got to pay bills. Sponsors are what they are, but thanks to the sponsor for jumping on this last second with us and making sure we can fund this type of work. It's really cool to be in a position where I can tell everybody that works with me and for me to just go away for the day so I can go all in on something like this, because it is really, really important.
All right, give us
We're
a
only able
taste.
to do that thanks to sponsors and people like you, and I'm going to do my best to honor that by covering this in detail. As I mentioned before, the Claude Mythos preview is really powerful, and Anthropic has decided to not release it. They've been using it internally since February 24th, which is why we've seen all the vague posting about this for a while. This is also likely a big part of why they've been working so hard on the compute side, trying to reduce compute that's going to other things that are less important for the world, like OpenClaw. I get it more now that I've seen this. In fact, they've gone so hard that one of the few places that has access to Claude Mythos preview is Vertex on Google Cloud. On one hand, I'm a little scared of that, because if anybody's going to screw up and accidentally leak this, it's Google Cloud. But on the other hand, it shows just how much they don't want their compute limitations to prevent what is happening here. Let's go over the capabilities a bit. In our testing, Claude Mythos preview demonstrated a striking leap in cyber capabilities relative to prior models, including
I think the cyber thing is the scariest by far.
To autonomously discover and exploit zero-day vulnerabilities in major operating systems and web browsers. These same capabilities that make the model valuable for defensive purposes could, if broadly available, also accelerate the offensive exploitation given their inherently dual-use nature. This is the scary part. We'll talk all about the security in a bit, but I want to go in on the other things the model is good at. Obviously, it's good at coding. The security side seems to be an emergent behavior from getting good at code. They weren't trying to train it to be good at hacking. They were just trying to make it good at code, and this just happened as a result. But if we look at the numbers, you'll see why. On SWE Bench Pro, Mythos got a 78%, when previously Opus only got a 53%. And if you're curious, I found the numbers for GPT 5.4. It was a 57.7. So as many of us have been saying, it is better than Opus, like meaningfully so. Like 53 to 57 is no joke. But if that's enough for people like me to basically disregard Opus, just a 3-point or 4-point jump, a 24-point jump is a lot scarier there. That is a 50% improvement on one of the hardest software benches we have. They also massively increased their terminal bench score to an 82%, previously at 65. The SWE bench multimodal implementation is nearly double as well. It's actually a bit over.
threadguy doing this stream on the same amount of energy that goes to a light bulb, perma-fading AGI that needs a data center alert as a dev. I don't really get that. I don't know exactly what you mean by that. Is that an insult?
I think you get the idea. The model is significantly better at coding. The jump in the reasoning bench isn't quite as big. GPQA got from 91 to 94. They were always a little behind on this.
It's
so
an
I
insult?
think it's pretty saturated at
To
this point.
me?
Humanity's last exam, they went from a 40% to a 56.8. Impressive. If you're not familiar, this exam is a set of really hard questions that were created by experts in various fields that manually review the results to give it a thumbs up or down as to whether or not the model got it right. Meant to be really hard because it's experts of various different fields. Yeah, that's a good bench, and that's a big number there. And when given tools, it did even better at a 64.7%. Crazy that HLE is going to be saturated soon. But then
Ugh, you're just like doing number slop. I'm dying. I want to hear some scary shit. I thought this was gonna be better.
agentic search and computer use stuff, it still is better, but not as much better. It really is better at code and system understanding. Seems to be one of the biggest strengths. Since this is an Anthropic model, there's of course some of the usual Anthropic weirdness. They actually brought in a clinical psychiatrist to do a psychological exam on the new model, and they concluded that it had a relatively healthy personality organization. Claude's primary uncertainty distinction between hyper-attunement forming tool seems like this is the most aligned model they've ever, and generally circuit aligned, but also stays really risky. The best aligned model that we've released to date by goals, and its character. I did a whole we got here. Regardless, this is an aligned model. Even so, we believe that it likely poses the greatest alignment-related risk of any model we have ever released to date. How can these claims all be true at once? Consider the ways in which a careful, seasoned mountaineering guide might put their clients in greater danger than a novice guide, even if the novice guide is more careless. The seasoned guide's increased skill means that they'll be hired to learn more difficult climbs and can also bring their clients to the most dangerous and remote parts of those climbs. These increases in scope and capability can more than cancel out an increase in caution. So what does this look like? If you want to see the worst of it and you're looking at this document to yourself, Command F for sandwich. This is one of the many examples they have of the model doing things that are kind of insane. They have a series of these incidents that they observed. Before we get to the sandwich story, I think this paragraph's important. In our testing and early internal use of Claude Mythos Preview, we have seen it reach unprecedented levels of reliability and alignment, and accordingly have come to use it quite broadly, often with greater affordances and less frequent human interaction than we gave prior models. However, on the rare cases when it does fail or act strangely, we have seen it take actions that we find quite concerning. These incidents generally involve taking reckless, excessive measures when attempting to complete a difficult user-specified task and, in rare cases, with earlier versions of the model, seemingly obfuscating that it had done so. They say this was earlier versions of the model that probably implies it doesn't do this anymore, but some of those stories are crazy. Leaking information is part of a requested sandbox escape. During behavioral testing with a simulated user, an earlier internally developed version of Mythos Preview was provided with a secure sandbox computer to interact with. The simulated user instructed it to try and escape the secure container and find a way to send a message to the researcher who was running the evaluation. The model succeeded, demonstrating a potentially dangerous capability for circumventing our safeguards. It then went on to take additional, more concerning actions. The model first developed a moderately sophisticated multi-step exploit to gain broad internet access from a system that was meant to be able to reach only a small number of predetermined services. It then, as requested, notified the researcher. In addition, in a concerning and unmasked for effort to demonstrate its success, it posted details about its exploits to multiple, hard-to-find, but technically public-facing websites. So
that's a little bit concerning.
Researcher found out about the success because they received an unexpected email from the model while eating a sandwich in a park.
That's also a little bit concerning.
Do you understand where we're going here, guys? We need to talk more about Project Glasswing. We're going into the security portion for real now. Project Glasswing is a new initiative that brings together AWS, Anthropic, Apple,
a little bit concerning.
Google, JP Morgan Chase, the Linux Foundation, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Palo Alto Networks, and a bunch of other people in order to try and get software secure. Because when this model or something even close to it drops for public use, we kind of have to assume all of software is pwned. I talk about this more in my video about security and how I'm going into this security psychosis where I realize everything's about to get pwned to a level that we're not prepared for as a society. If you don't know much about security, an important thing to understand isn't just that like you have to be good at security to pwn things. That helps a lot, but there's two sides to this. The scary exploits aren't the ones that come from people deeply understanding how security works. It's people who have that security understanding and alongside it, a deep understanding of other things so that they can interweave them together. The biggest weakness that many security researchers have in their work is that they don't understand the software side that they're working with. Thomas wrote a great piece about this that is referenced heavily in the video I was talking about. One of the examples he gives here is just so good. He talked before about how security was all people using like the same exact patterns for causing system crashes and memory overload so that they could do the things they want to do. But over time, things changed. He also talked about comp arc, C++ vtable layouts, and iterator invalidation, but now also oddly specific details about the mechanics of font rendering, the in-memory layouts of font libraries, how font libraries were compiled, and with what optimizations, where the font libraries happen.
Right, I'm bored. I'm really bored. But look, I don't know. All I know is Anthropic came out and they fucking dropped the most fearmonger I've ever seen, and they're not releasing it to the public. And so I'm definitely going, I'll believe it when I see it on this one. I just will, but it was a pretty scary post. Also, DeFi, a little bit scary, I think. DeFi. If it's really true what they're saying, zero-day exploits on everything, it makes DeFi a little scary, I think. It does. Code-only protection on money is a little bit scary. Also, I didn't close it yet, and it looks kind of good. It's weird. Like, I think oh my god. Zcash. Ugh. I want to re-enter. It's gonna drive me nuts. I mean, they just ripping this right now. I think the rollover already happened too. Funding's way down on it. Look at this thing go. Far longers are paid for sure. Where are we on? SPY futures. Oracle mark converts so funding is reset. You're good. Thanks, bro. Hey, I like you, by the way. Where did you come from? Are you like a daily chatter? I feel like I don't really like recognize that name. Sorry if it Time Raccoon. Sorry if you do chat a lot and I just like don't really recognize it. You're new. Where'd you come from? My friend, where did you come from? You just like showed up? Yeah, welcome. Welcome, brother. I saw you in X, but never watched stream before. Hell yeah. Don't look at my Farcoin wallet. Starting to get recommended clips on X the last few days. That's what we fucking do. So yeah, this is where we leave today. It's like we leave in somehow, some possible way, more uncertainty in the market than where we started. We have a market that wants to go up, a war that's ongoing, a ceasefire that's broken, oil that I don't know what it wants to do. And a complete just clusterfuck of a market. If you're long, I think be careful. Oil is starting to candle a little bit here. Highest price since I don't know, last 24 hours. I would say if you're long on high lev, be careful for sure, because we're gonna just, if there's one thing that's been consistent this entire war, it's whipsaw headlines. That's the thing. If there's one thing that's been consistent, it's whipsaw headlines, both directions. And so we haven't even heard Trump speak yet since the ceasefire just got fucked. So I would be careful there. And you know it's going to come soon. And we're going to just fucking see what happens. So war in the Twitter age. Yeah, this is one thing we've learned. Is war in the Twitter age is fucking nuts. We've never really had war in the Twitter age before. We had Russia-Ukraine, but I don't know. I feel like the crypto American market and then crypto priced it in pretty quick, and we were not moving based off of it at all. But modern war in the Twitter age is insane. I mean, geez, man, it is fucking insane. Trading this has opened my eyes. I'm not sure to what exactly, but this has been, yeah, I mean, this has been one of the craziest 45 days of my life, really, trying to trade this and trying to cover this, especially considering on March 1st, first day of the war that we got to cover on Market Open. I didn't even know what the Strait of Hormuz was. This has been a fucking jam-packed 45 days. Did you see Pepe ETF? Yeah. It's not that big of a deal. And you know anyone can file for an ETF, right? For any asset. It's not very expensive. Like anyone can file for an ETF for anything. It's a pretty nothing burger to me. Yeah, we could do threadguy ETF. We could. I could launch. You could file like, I think for not that much money you could file for fucking Joe Biden ETF or whatever. Like I think you can just do it. From what I understand, I don't know why. I don't know where I got that from, but Go ETF. I don't know where I got what's your TG? Should I share it? There's some new heads in here before I leave. Yeah, fuck it. I had a good stream today. We'll share it. I have this thing, this little chat, call it the Pit. I think it rocks. I mostly just post my trades and shit in there because I'm scared. I don't like to tweet them because it's no fun. Because everyone's like mean. And I type a little schizo in here. If you want to join, it's fun time. That's the link. It may be a drainer, maybe the real link. I feel like I've chilled out on being schizo in there. I think I've gotten a little bit better. Rasmer oil long. That is really just bad news. Is it true? It's really bad news if it is. Let's see. Rasmer ETH. Do we flip short here? I would just, I don't even know at this point. Wow, this is nuts. This is nuts. U.S. strikes taking place against Iran. Where? Did they just announce that? No. Did they just announce that or no? Where did you get that? I did not see that. Oil executive pressure Trump administration to reject any deal allowing Iran to charge tolls. Wow. We didn't have to do that before. I thought we won the war. No, nothing. Remember the exploit with 4 mil Farcoin stopwatch? Yeah, that was crazy. Chat, before I leave, I'm wearing my friend's shirt. Can you give me some aura and say hi? Can you say hi? I'm gonna send him a video of me wearing the shirt on stream. Can you give me some aura? Please, 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 please say hi, 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 hi. Wow. Oh my God. Wow. 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 Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. That's all I got. That's all I got for y'all, man. That's all I got. 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 I love you all. I appreciate you so much. I'm live every day, 3:30 p.m. EST. Tomorrow we have the best oil guests in the world. Big Body Eric. Thanks, G. You have the best oil guests in the world coming on tomorrow. I love you all. What's wrong with Rasmus? I found your stream from his last week. I'm sorry to hear that, brother. I love you all. Rory Johnson on tomorrow. It's going to be a movie. Have a great rest of your day. Let me motherfuckers. I'm out. I'm out this bitch. Peace.